to another episode of 630 Skirmishers. I'm your host, Kevin. Alongside with me is Graham Kryze Carlson.
I'm Mr. Kryze. Keep it Kryze with Clan. Wait, what is it? Keep it breezy with Clan Kryze.
With Clan Kryze.
There it is. That's awesome.
But we are not alone today. We also have a special guest, Nick Kleeman, one of our local stars, who has been going to plenty of tournaments, who has jumped on the same bandwagon as me and has put up the GAR for the Mandalorians.
Yes, it's official. I'm now a Mandalorian player.
You were playing Republic, like, pretty much that was it, right? For the first year or so you were playing Legion?
Yeah, so I started it in 2.6, and I basically only played GAR. Played a little bit of Empire, but...
Like, what gravitates you towards these elite armies? Like, do you have other war games that you've played before that, like, have that sort of elite play style, or what's your deal?
He likes what's good.
Maybe. But for better or for worse, I usually play armies that are elite and more defensive. That's generally what my play style is. So surging to block is pretty good in this game.
Yeah. They're forgiving, right? Like, if you put your rebel troopers out in the open, they get smoked pretty fast. At least when you're playing better save armies, it helps a lot, because you can say, like, oh, actually, I probably want to pull the rest of this squad back before they all die, or something like that. So
yeah, so I played a lot of War Machine back in the day, and I played Circle Orgos, and they were a very, like, hit and run skirmisher kind of faction.
Yeah.
But they also had a different side, which was the Wolds, which was like the armor tank side. And I really liked playing the honey pot style. You kind of dangle one thing out there, they come in, they can't kill it, and then you get to counterpunch pretty hard.
Nice. Well, cool. So between the three of us, Nick, you've definitely played more Mandalorians than Kevin and I have combined. Because I'm not contributing, though. I haven't really gotten a chance to play with them yet. So, but yeah, so today we're talking all about Clan Kryze specifically. We've talked on previous episodes about how you can play Mandalorian Soup, which is where you have a Battleforce and you can mix and match different Mandalorian clans within that Battleforce, and that's probably maybe the most competitively, or one of the most competitively viable ways to play Mandalorians. But one of the more thematic ways to play is if you dial in on just one of those clans. So today, it's all about Bo-Katan and her Night Owls in Clan Kryze. But before we get into that, Kevin, I think you had a couple things on the docket, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of announcements that I want to make. The first big one is the Windy City is definitely returning January 9th through 10th. I just want to get people thinking about it. Tickets will go on sale in September. Mm-hmm. So once we have the official date that tickets are going to go up on sale, we will announce it. We'll announce it also on the Discord. We will hopefully have the tabletop up and everything for everybody to purchase tickets and get signed up for that event. It is the same thing, 2-day event, January 9th and 10th. We are looking at the price. It's probably going to be close to the same amount. And I believe, what was it, 75 last year? 70?
I think it was 70. Yeah.
70. So yeah.
Probably in that range, which is a great deal for a 2-day tournament.
Yep. You will be getting a lunch again. So it will be streamed again. So January 9th and 10th here in Chicago. It's going to be in the same place, Brookfield, Illinois. Same location if you came last year. I think
Windy City Skirmish had, 45 players last year? Does that sound right? It was a really, really good turnout. So we're happy with that.
It was a great turnout. So we're hoping for more. I love the place that we're in. It's very reminiscent. Never
Ramen
mind.
noodles?
It very much reminds me of Basement Legion. It's got this kind of cool vibe where you come in, you go downstairs, there's a bar to the right, and then a ton of tables set up with people playing Legion. It's very cool.
Wooden paneling everywhere, like a 1982 basement. It's great.
It's so like old school, like gaming style. It feels great. But if we eventually outgrow it, we outgrow it. I mean, that's kind of the goal. We would love to make this a giant event that happens every year. So yeah, January 9th and 10th, put it on your calendar if you plan on coming back out to Chicago and playing 2 days of fun, exciting Legion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great time last year.
Yeah. It was cool to see the turnout from like Indiana, Wisconsin,
North Dakota, California, New York. We had everybody from all over the place.
Yeah, it was amazing. I hope we grow this year. It'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
And then on August 30th, Fair Game Downers Grove is hosting a local 1-day 3-round tournament. Tickets should be up by the time this video goes up. $20 a person. It's a 10-hour event. We've got it down pat. And so if you want to come join us in one of our great local Legion communities outside of Chicago, then please come on out. And you can find those tickets at fairgamestore.com. And then you search for Admission Legion or Legion Tournament. It'll show up on there. If anybody has any local events or any events that you want us to advertise, feel free to send us an email at 60skirmishers@gmail.com. Yeah, we will read it out.
Yeah.
So let's start segueing into some Mandos stuff. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to really play much. I played against Mandalorians now several times, but I haven't actually piloted them. But both of you guys have actually played Mandos at tournaments, as well as like several like game nights and things like that. So I think
me and Nick both switched over. I think me and Nick both switched over as soon as we found out rules about it. I know I did. I started building lists the first day that we got all the rules and how everything worked. And I actually started building Clan Kryze list right away because just because me, I'm a huge Gar player, so Clan Kryze is very Siege of Mandalore for me. So I was building Siege of Mandalore list, and then I was looking at full Clan Kryze list. So I'm kind of excited about this today. I'm actually looking to play more Clan Kryze lists at tournaments. I don't think they're as bad as everybody thinks they are, so I'm looking forward to it. And I think Nick is kind of doing the same thing, huh?
Yeah, so originally I gravitated towards the bow ren soup, and I thought it was pretty strong. It has some timing issues, but I think Clan Kryze has some pretty good power behind it, especially with how their whole clan mechanic works and how Mandalorians are stronger together works.
Yeah, I think the custom Build-A-Bear Mandalorian leaders and Hunter are really gonna help Clan Kryze. I think they're gonna help actually a lot of the like full factions. I think they kind of add a little bit extra oomph that if you're going just pure Clan Kryze, Ren, Gar Saxon, I think the custom Mandos are actually what really is going to help propel those lists.
Yeah, it turns out retinue on your leader is real good.
Yeah, especially if you got you want to start building those tokens. I know that I played a full Clan Kryze list at our store tournament. Was it last month?
Yeah,
and I didn't have the best time of my life with them. I shouldn't say, but I had a blast actually playing them. I just didn't do very well with them. And once we got all the info on the custom Mandos, I started tinkering with some Clan Kryze lists, and I was like, "Oh, this is this is where it's at. And then of course they did the big change to apparently I was playing the whole time with a nerfed axe woes. So
Yeah. Axe is certainly much, much better after the errata.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
his
yeah, so
damage output
especially
doubled. It's funny.
right.
Yeah, that works.
I was like, are they making wolves this expensive because he has like what was it, direct? I was like, is direct really that good for Mandos? Like
No, it was the Gartax. Let's be real.
it was the guard. It was the guard tax. It definitely was. Oh man. But yeah, so I really like the way in that tournament I was really liking how Mandalorian's strung together, and then the Clan Kryze ability of keeping 3 tokens is so good. I think that it will be better. I think this might be the resurgence of some vigilance. You're going to see like 1 or 2 vigilance if people are playing Clan Kryze, in my opinion, just to give those extra 1 to 2 tokens. I think that's going to be big, especially for your leaders if you're using just Mandalorian leaders, because they're getting retinue every turn. So they can, if they don't spend that token, or in the way that Mandos or Clan Kryze works, is you spend a token, you get the opposite token. So if you need to start with an aim next turn, you can save that on yourself and stuff like that with vigilance. So
And Nick, that night you were kind of feeling like Kryze had some pretty good gas. I mean, I think typically we assume that Mandalorian clan's soup is really the way to go, but you really felt like there was a pretty good benefit to playing just Kryze by itself, right?
Right. So when you look at Children of the Watch, they get tokens at the top of the round based on how they issue their orders with This Is the Way,
Yeah.
right? And that's part of the reason why they're so strong. The other half of that is obviously has infiltrating fire support, but which just
Yeah.
absolutely deletes things.
It's disgusting.
But it is disgusting. But Clan Kryze can kind of replicate This Is the Way, maybe not with as much autonomy, I guess, but you get to start with those tokens at the beginning of the round, which kind of replicates what This Is the Way is doing.
Yeah.
Which I found to be the secret sauce that made Mandos like click and then be much more effective than what I was experiencing with Bo Ren.
I can understand that. I love the Bo Ren mix up. But I feel like if you don't use that like turn to either play the card that gives you all the tokens or start that like token like generation, you're using like 1 turn to get it and spend an aim or get a dodge or something like that, where I feel like Clan Kryze is definitely going to help propel that a little bit better because of their vets with tactical and their 2 like leaders with tactical and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the we protect our own turn is insane and amazing and very, very good. But if you fall flat and you don't get the momentum out of it, the list just peters out real fast, I found.
Interesting. Yeah. So let's do a quick overview. If you're not super familiar with how to play Mandalorians or you're kind of new to Legion, I wanted to kind of give a baseline understanding of the stuff you can bring in this army, and then kind of what those 2 main abilities are that Kryze has access to. So I've got the Mandalorian clan's Battleforce. Whenever you build an army in Star Wars Legion, you can build one of the 4 main factions, or instead you can build one of the battle forces. And the battle forces, though they have their own list building rules that are detailed in this PDF document on the Atomic Mass Games website. So those rules for Mandalorians are here on this page, and the short of it is you get access to several units that aren't able to be taken inside of the 4 main factions. So I'm talking about Mandalorian Initiates, Warriors, Warrior Fire Supports, and the Mandalorian Custom Leader. And then On top of those, you also get access to the mercenary Mandalorian hunter and then several named characters. When we say soup, you can just bring any of those things I just listed. So you can bring Din Djarin and the armorer along with Bo-Katan, and you could bring like
Sabine.
a custom operative or Sabine or something like that, right? However, if all of your units all share the same creed, the same sort of affiliation, then you get access to an additional ability. And Clan Kryze has an ability that synergizes a whole lot with a keyword that all of the Clan Kryze units have. So, with that structure being said, I'm going to bounce over to a list builder. This is Tabletop Admiral. And all Clan Kryze units are going to have the keyword Mandalorians are stronger together. You'll notice that it's written straight on Bo-Katan's card and Axe Wove's card. However, if you bring, let's say, a Mandalorian Warriors unit, they have a Creed upgrade slot, and you could attach the Clan Kryze upgrade. The Clan Kryze upgrade says you change your affiliation to Clan Kryze, and you gain Mandalorians are stronger together. So, all of your units are going to have this keyword. And that keyword says, when an allied unit with the Mandalorians are stronger together keyword spends one or more aim tokens during an attack, after the attack it gains a dodge token if it's within range 2 of another allied unit with the Mandalorians are stronger together keyword. So, after you attack, if you spend an aim, you get a dodge as long as you're within range 2 of a friendly Mandos or stronger unit. Also, when an allied unit spends a dodge while defending, after that attack is resolved, it gains an aim token, again, if it's within range 2 of another Mandos or stronger together unit. So you are going to want to cluster up your units in general. However, even if you just have 2 units off on the side that are both Mandos are stronger together and they're within range 2 of each other, they're going to trigger this keyword off of each other, and so you can kind of send your units off in the buddy system. They can just cluster together with like 2 or 3, and they can be kind of self-sufficient in terms of gaining these tokens. And like you guys were just saying, it's sort of like as long as you can generate that first token, this kind of helps keep a token on your unit at all times. Have you guys found that it's pretty easy to trigger this, or what are your thoughts?
Since your entire army has the keyword, it's real easy to trigger. It's usually not a real big issue. Also, having that GAR experience, like making sure everything's within range 2 of each other, is kind of second nature, I think.
Right, because clones share tokens at range 2, right? So it's similar.
Yeah. I feel like our gameplay, me and Nick, we've had talks about this before, but I feel like our gameplay hasn't really changed much. It's more or less just now having units that surge to hit.
Which is a drug.
It is an absolute drug.
Dude, you wouldn't think that just like plus 12.5% to hit on a die is like that much good, that much better, but it feels better. It feels significant,
So much better.
Very significant, yeah.
I mean, like, I can understand why every Rebel player was having like sleeper cells in their like a big black dice pool that surges the hit feels amazing.
Yeah.
The jealousy I had every time a sleeper cell shot me. I was like, you're just gonna roll 12 because that's what happens every time.
Right.
Yeah. Roll, you have 2 aims. Let's just say 12 hits. I'll roll for cover. Then we'll go.
Don't even bother. I'll just roll for 12.
Oh, you're just declaring an attack? Let me just get my 12 defense dice. Thanks. I'll just assume. And conversely, it makes you feel way worse playing arcs when you're like, here's 10 black. I hit 5.
Don't surge.
Here's an aim. I hit 6.
I moved twice to charge into you. I'll throw the 10 dice. I'll use both aims, and you're taking 5 hits. So it's like...
God, it felt so awful.
Brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal. One thing I do want to call out before we move on about Mandalorians are stronger together. If you do have multiple aims and you split fire and use an aim on each shot, you get multiple dodges.
Interesting.
Oh, did they make a forum post about that?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
that
like
is
pseudo
amazing.
up close and personal, sort of, but
Yeah.
you need aims to trigger it.
I feel like that makes the tactical on the Clan Kryze a lot better.
Yeah, so sometimes like if you carry over an aim and then you move and
Yeah,
get an aim with tactical, or like you take the aim action with warriors or whatever,
and then
and
split
if you
fire.
give them the carbines, right, you have two guns, you could split fire and get two dodges that way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It would be crazy if you also put up close and personal on the unit. So ideally, they have an aim going into their activation, and then with like Clan Kryze veterans, they get tactical 1. So you move. Now you have 2 aims. You split fire. You shoot twice. Mandos are stronger together. Triggers twice. You get a dodge and a dodge, and then up close and personal triggers twice, and you get a dodge and a dodge. And now they're sitting on 4 dodges.
It's even more nutty on the veterans because you can split fire like 4 different ways.
Yeah,
Right.
with a heavy and all that stuff, and
Well, because they have the range 3 gun, they have the pistols, you have a heavy, you could flamer someone if they're in range 1.
Yeah,
it
sets
seems
are so
gross.
good. Like, yeah, it's super gross.
Maybe
I
that's
think
why
this
they're
is
like
like
190 points or whatever this unit is.
I was complaining about the 120 points when Clan Kryze was first announced, and I was like, oh man, this is horrible. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, wait, they can dump all their weapons into one target when they need to, but I think their real bread and butter is split firing some of these special weapons with other gun profiles into 2 units where you're still throwing like 5 dice at one and 5 dice at the other, which is kind of like a standard dice pool, but you're attacking 2 units at once. I mean, it's pretty nutty.
Right, and like coming from Gar, a lot of times you're like, okay, I could like throw 2 red at this guy and like 'cause I took some attrition, 3 black at that guy, and you don't surge, so it feels terrible, you know. But in this army, since you surge and you have so many weapon profiles and they're all kind of beefy pools, you're like, this is like the first army I felt like where that feels like a legitimate strategy, and you're gonna
Absolutely.
actually get work out of it, right? More than just a suppression token.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because that's what it
Right.
was. Is if you're splitting fire, you're saying, I'm not really going to do damage. I'm just going to put out an extra suppression token. Because Old Legion math had all these small die pools, and it was very incremental. It's like, okay, so the average number of hits this unit is going to have is 2. And if you add a heavy weapon, it's going to go up to 3. And if you put this upgrade on it, it's going to be 3.5. And like 3.5 hits on average is like whatever, like that's fine. But then if you split that, then you're doing
like one
2
pass
and
cover.
1.5, and yeah, and then you're like doing nothing, right? Whereas like now, like you've got all these big die pools, but traditionally those big die pools are like fleet troopers. We have a heavy weapon, and then everyone else is all in one pool. And really, you want to use the heavy weapon to give those keywords to the big pool, right? Like, I don't know, weird example,
Yes.
but I'll say blast on the fleet troopers. It was a weird example because that's not a very popular upgrade, but like you wouldn't split fire with that because the whole value of the heavy weapon is to put blast into your 18 die, attack pool. So, it's this. You're exactly right that this feels like the first real set of units that we have access to now, where it's like I've got a character on here that rolls 3 attack dice that are surging, and I've got a heavy weapon that's also 3 attack dice and surging. I've got a flame projector that's going to target that unit over there, and so with the flamer, I'm rolling 6 dice, and then I have 5 dudes on top of that that are also rolling 5 dice, and like those are all significant.
Right. Yeah, it's wild. It feels good on the tabletop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Having
it's a
all
lot
that
of fun
option.
too. Like it might not be the most optimal like tournament strategy, but it's a blast to do. Where
Yeah.
you're like you get to kind of like jump in, and you're like, well, I'm gonna throw 6 dice at this, but I also have a flamethrower on them in range 1 of your like beef squad, so I'm also gonna throw 12 dice at them. And it,
Yeah.
I today in Discord we were talking, and I still do feel like it hurts only having 2 flamers and 2 rockets, But I understand where people are coming from when they're like,
Flamers are crazy.
more than two
though.
flamers would be crazy.
Yeah. Having more
Well,
flamers would be sick. Yeah.
Every other flamer in the game has been paired, like it's either the only weapon you can fire or like it's like a din flamer that he really only uses once per game on his relentless turn, and then he's got a 3-die pierce 1 attack outside of that, right? So it's like flamer and then only a couple dice, or it's just the flamer.
I think only the snows have ever been able to split fire their flamer.
And snows are only throwing one surging white, so
Yeah,
when you
so
split
it's not like a
yeah, it's not like that
Not
crazy.
particularly lethal. Yeah.
I'm
I'm never
now,
afraid of snows, dude.
No. I don't know. But now it's like you get this super good flamethrower attack on top of 5 other dudes. If you put them in warriors or veterans, that's another 10 dice on top of the flamer. This is the first and only case of that. So it's pretty significant.
Their diples get out of control sometimes.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had a chance to talk yet about that Battleforce affiliation ability. So, Mandalorians are stronger together is the keyword that your whole Clan Kryze army is going to have just from their unit cards, basically. And then the Battleforce ability stacks with that. So, that Battleforce ability says during the remove token step of the end phase, choose up to 3 green tokens on allied units. The chosen tokens are not removed. This compares similarly to the Vigilance upgrade, which says pick 2 core units or 1 trooper unit at the end of the round to keep a dodge token. This is 3 units, and there's no range restriction, and it can be aims, dodges, or surges. So it's much more potent than Vigilance is.
Yeah.
But this is what you guys were alluding to, right? It feels like the value here is that then you're starting a round with tokens left over from the last round.
Right. And the way Mandalorians are stronger together is that anything that has a token will never be tokenless, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the end of the
Yeah.
round. I mean, right? So it leaves your options open and it carries on through the course of the game. And the reason I'm calling it out is because when I was first looking at it on paper, I was like, oh, that doesn't seem that good. Until I actually put it on the table and I was like, wait a minute, I have all these options on all these tokens that I get to keep, which is like crazy because they just like stay around in perpetuity, basically.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing of using this ability is planning properly for what token you're going to need at the start of next round. So I think the complexity of the Kryze kind of like battle force or army or whatever they're calling this is not only do you got to kind of think of the round you're in, but you got to start planning immediately for the next round on almost every unit. So you go, well, I know I'm going to probably need to keep the dodge on this unit. And just like every plan, it's going to change with, anything that's happening throughout that round. But you still need to kind of think of that moment of what is going to happen next round. What do I want to start next round? What card, like command card, am I thinking of playing next round? So I need to start thinking about what dice pools or what tokens I need to kind of start preserving for the following round.
Yeah, and I really do like that they called out that it's all green tokens because, like, you look at the Mando list, and you're like, well, and especially in Kryze, you're like, well, there's no real way to get surges outside of into the fray, but being able to keep them if you do have them left over could be pretty clutch, I think.
Yeah, I think it's really clutch. Because your warriors are not surging blocks. I mean, your vets and your leaders and stuff like that, and like Axe Wove, you're fine. But you still run into this trouble of, and I say it all the time, and people are like, "Oh, you're crazy," but non-surging red saves are not. I mean, they're good. They're good for sure,
Yeah.
but they're not that far off from white surging saves. So
I mean, they're a coin flip, right? So
yeah.
Still gonna lose, dudes.
You're definitely gonna lose, dude, with non-surging red saves for sure.
So how do you guys decide which tokens to target? I mean, obviously it's all contextual, but just like, are there any thought patterns that you find yourself going through when you're deciding what to use that affiliation ability on at the end of the round?
So my first thought usually is, what do I want to go first with next round? And then usually I want to keep an aim on that thing, because then it gets to get converted into a dodge, right?
Yeah.
And then anything that I feel like is going to have to go later in the round that I have the leeway to keep a token on, I want to keep a dodge on, because then they'll most likely get attacked, and then that dodge will convert to an aim, and then I can use that aim when they activate.
Yeah.
That's been my thought process so far. Experience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. The only other thing that I kind of think about is, well, I'm about to aim fire with this unit. Is it in a position where it's going to get shot with a dodge that switches, and if they survive, which most of the time, if you're like playing right, you're at least going to have a few of them survive. Is it safe to have them spend that dodge, get the aim, and save that aim for next round, so that they, if it was a unit that I was trying to activate first, can I use this aim next round to make sure that I can move somewhere into a better position and then fire and spend the aim? Or, is it not worth me, keeping the aim on this unit even if they get shot? So there's like things to like think about while you're kind of playing, and while you're not playing. In a sense, it's not your turn. You're also starting to think about a lot of stuff. It keeps you very engaged in the game, in my opinion. So I think it's actually a really good one. I think it's a good game mechanic, in my opinion. If you're thinking about gameplay, it definitely, keeps you very much engaged in what's going on. Where I'm not saying that like people can space out while they're playing, but it happens sometimes because they're just like, well, I have all my guys laid out. I don't have to worry about anything. If they get shot, I just got to roll defense dice. Where this, you're just like, is it worth me spending the dodge, this shot to get an aim? Are they going to live? Are they not going to live? Like, do I want to save that aim on the next round and stuff like that?
And then one thing that I found that's also really key is on your warriors, since they have duelist, and if your opponent has some Jedi running around, you can kind of try to stack up dodges on them, like especially if it's like Vader or Anakin or whatever, and then just run that unit straight at that unit, at that Jedi, and just tie them down, and
Yeah.
it, nullify their pierce and limit their impact on the game.
That was the best thing to do with, like, if you're playing rebels with vigilance, you have rebel troopers. They keep a dodge at the start of the round with vigilance, and then early on in the round, you're like, I'm going to double move into Vader. And now Vader's just stuck with these dumb rebel troopers that are 42 points, and they got 3 dodges on him. He swings, hits for 5, dodge 3, lose 2. Vader's totally nerfed, right? Like it's kind of that concept, but
because you've got duelist.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
and now you're on duelist,
and red
right?
saves.
So you actually get to like try to save out of those. So
Yeah,
pretty
the duelist on the Mandalorian warriors makes you realize why they can't be a B squad. I think it
Oh
would be,
yeah, it'd be sick
it'd
if
be
you could beat those
nuts.
guys.
Yeah, it'd be really good. And that's kind of the cool thing about the Mandalorian army is that your core units can be a unit that ties up a Jedi, which I think is huge.
Yeah.
Like giant.
And thematic, right? Like the whole thing about
Yeah.
Mandalorian culture is that they started harnessing Beskar because in the time immemorial before all the saga stuff happens, like they're fighting Jedi, and so they have Beskar
Yeah.
to defend against lightsabers, and so I think
I mean, they almost took over the galaxy, and
yeah.
the only thing that they had to worry about were Jedi. So,
And my
Yeah.
complaint about Mandalorians up to this point in the game, right? You're like Mandalorian Resistance with Rebels or Super Commandos, is that I would get so frustrated. There were these 3-man units that were very hard to use, I think, because they're expensive, and so they're very punishing if you make mistakes with them. And I would get frustrated because I was like, these are supposed to be the greatest warriors in the galaxy, and I feel like I'm not getting, like I paid, 80 points for this unit, and all it does is it rolls 6 dice to attack. And if I fail any of my saves, now all of a sudden it's doing 4 dice to attack or 2 dice to attack. Like, it just wasn't very potent, and it really needed some more gas in the tank to be splashier, I think. And so having keywords like duelist that do help keep them alive, and having a whole new arsenal of things like flamers and whipcords and jetpack rockets, like, that's really started to make Mandalorians on the table feel like the Mandalorians we see on the screen across all of Star Wars Legion. So that's been really awesome to see.
Yeah, and thematically, you don't have to put them on your like big units. You don't have to put flamers on your Clan Kryze veterans. You don't have to, put it only on your, Bo-Katan or Axe Woes or something like that. You can put like these upgrades on your warriors, and everything in like on your list seems kind of like a hero. You know what I mean? Like a hero unit, because you get to upgrade these, core units with all this cool equipment.
And when you play aerial assault, man, it always feels super thematic. Like those 2 units just charging in there and then just blasting away at everything.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Awesome.
It's so good.
That's the best kind of command card design, right? Is those ones that create those like memorable moments on the tabletop. So, I'm really, really pleased with how the command card design for like the modern cards has been across the game. Those are the wins, right? Those are the ones that you really want to see.
Yeah, all the command cards in Mandalorians feel super strong, super thematic, super fun. It always feels super competitive when you're building a hand.
Yeah.
I like that it is I think they did a great job on, I think the hero cards are good. Bo-Katan cards are good. Gar Saxon's cards haven't changed much, but I still think they're good. Clan Ren, Ursa Ren's card is good. Sabine's cards have play, like they all have good play to them, but the generic cards themselves still like make the whole army still feel like, they are Mandalorians. Like they are a huge threat, because you don't need to take a hero to get a hero card, because the whole army is technically these like warrior heroes. So you can play like pure custom units and stuff like that. And then it's also another good game design, because with them doing more character upgrades to units, I think having the custom like leaders still gives you play with good generic command cards. Sorry, my brain was like malfunctioning. So you can play their custom, leaders, because you need to fill that slot, and you can still put your heroes into other units to lead that unit around and stuff like that. And so you still feel like you're playing your heroes, and you're getting these like really good command cards that can compete in tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, we're talking a little bit about command cards. Maybe let's transition over to that part of the discussion. So let's talk about the command cards that you get access to as part of Clan Kryze, and then maybe how we would consider using them, or what are they good for in the context of that kind of Clan Kryze army, right?
Sure.
So one of the most iconic Mandalorian cards is the 3-pip weapons are our religion. You give orders to any 3 units. Those units gain the charge keyword this round, lets them move and then make a melee attack. And then the weapons of allied Mandalorian trooper units gain versatile this round, So even the units that are already engaged in melee, when they make an attack action, they can choose to use ranged weapons and shoot things that are outside of that melee combat. If they're minimum range 1, they're minimum range like melee to 2, then obviously you can shoot the guys that are still in melee with, or shoot out. So
This is the card that I originally thought was going to be super strong, and it is. Don't get me wrong. I just
Yeah.
find it the hardest one to play for some reason. Because your
yeah,
hand, like I said, your hand is so competitive, and I want to play other things before I want to play this usually. And by
that's
the time
true.
I get around to the point where I want to play this, it's too late because the lines have already met. You know, it's been
It's very
interesting.
situational for sure. I think I mean, it's a great card if you have 3 warriors, and you can get charge on all of them, and then you can like aim charge, but you have to make sure that they're in range so you can get the duelist to go off. Um, but it's also, I feel like, a card that you want your veterans, especially with Clan Kryze, in striking distance, where you don't want to give them the order, but you want to make sure that they can jump in and do an attack and like split fire. They can maybe, do a melee attack to something and split fire the flamethrower out, you know? So you want to make sure that you're able to do stuff like that. Because one, it then, gets your veterans in areas where they're in melee so they can't be shot or something like that. And then they also get to attack twice and flamethrower out. But it also gives like your warriors your chance. You can give them an order. It gives your warriors charge, so you can aim charge and get duelist off easy. But it, like Nick said, I'm the same way. Like learning that charge, you're not allowed, because I've never had versatile on playing guard that much.
Right.
I don't think anything has versatile on guard. I never knew that when you charged in, you couldn't split fire with your melee. Like you have to use your melee weapons into the melee attack. You can't
Yeah.
versatile your flamethrower out of it. So that was something like that I learned. So, the card then is not, I'm not saying that it's not a good card. It's a great card and it works in every army. But it's not, I don't think it's like broken.
Yeah, I agree. And Gar get good things. Are you kidding me?
Clones are fine.
Yeah.
Clones are fine. They win tournaments. Don't worry about it.
So
Yeah.
we'll come back to it when we get some more of the units, but you get to target 3 units with this card to give charge. I'm kind of envisioning like you play this on like round 2 and you give it to 2 warriors and your squad of Kryze veterans, or is there kind of a different use case, you think?
So like turn 2 is very competitive card wise because
Yeah.
a lot of times I find that if you play this turn 2, your opponent now knows you have charge and they're just going to stay outside your charge range. That was my experience the first few times I played it on turn 2, especially if you put it on like warriors. It's
Yeah.
fairly easy to stay out of range 2, I find.
Yeah. I think though it has a little bit more play in Clan Kryze units because of getting tactical with um your veterans. So it's a nice card to get 2 charges off on your veterans, because if they have to move, they're still getting 2 aims, and then they're going to get a dodge when they attack and spend that aim. So it's not a horrible like option to be just using it to load up veterans, especially if
Right.
you're playing kind of a very small list and you have like 3 veterans, or you have Bo-Katan, who you've moved up into striking distance, who can move twice and charge. So you can put that on her and your 2 vets, or if you have 3 vets, you just put it on 3 vets. So you still have this option.
Yeah, primarily I played like 20 games both soup or whatever. So like in my experience, I was playing Ren vets who already had charge, so this was normally just going on my warriors, and then most people would just stay away from them.
Yeah.
So I was relegated to just shooting, which
Yeah.
always felt bad, but it is what it is.
Which, once again, this is why I think like Clan Kryze has something to it. And people may think I'm crazy or something, but if you play this card and you give charge to your veterans and you give charge to a bow, um, people might be trying to stay away from your veterans, but they still shoot like really good, and they could still move once, get into that range too, because it's hard, especially if you're playing it round 2. It's hard not to get into that range 2 bubble with your speed 3 jump units.
Yeah.
So um so even if they're trying to stay out of charge range, it's going to be very hard for them to stay out of gun range for the range 2. So you're still getting your tactical even if you gave it to them. So yeah, you missed out on your charge, which kind of sucks because that's the whole reason why you played it. But it's not like the worst thing. One, it kept, if you think about it, it's kind of a win-win situation.
Yeah.
If they didn't move up enough to score a round 2 to score a point, and because they didn't want to get charged, and now you're able to jump in, be at range 2 and fire, and be in scoring position. So now you've kind of created this, well, I'm on the point, you're not, because you didn't want to get charged. So I mean, there's definitely some play and like things to think about when you're using it.
Yeah, I was gonna highlight that zoning effect.
I do like this card on like turn 3, turn 4, because once the lines have met, usually some of your units have won the fight, and being able to give them charge to like re-engage units that are maybe on a different part of the battlefield or whatever, you need them to pivot to a different POI. This definitely helps, I found, in my few times where I got to pull it off.
Well, let's bounce over to aerial assault, because Nick, you mentioned this a minute ago. So aerial assault gives orders to 2 units. It's a 2-pip. When a unit with a jump keyword is issued an order with this card, it may make a free jump to action. Then this round, when an allied unit that has a face-up order and the jump keyword attacks, it gains death from above. So obviously, ideally you're giving the 2 orders to 2 units that already have jump, which I think is everybody but initiates, basically.
Yeah.
So you're giving 2 free moves and then death from above. I think this is based specifically off of that scene. I think it's in Mandalorian season 1, when all the covert warriors are like shooting up over those like Tatooine buildings, and then they're like blasting dudes and basically providing Din Djarin with an exit to get out of there.
Where they help Din escape on Navarro.
Yeah. That's what I envision with this, but I think it's a pretty straightforward card. But do you guys have any like thoughts or use cases for this guy?
Oh, there's so many use cases for this card. So one of the important things to call out, or 2 important things to call out, is 1, you get a full speed jump, not just like a speed 1 move or anything. And then 2, it triggers like tactical, and if you had agile or whatever, it triggers all that, which is pretty key. Yeah. I know I like using it on a squad that I want to try and save. Sometimes I can then have them jump behind a building so that they don't get shot at the top of the round before the round even starts.
Yeah.
And the flexibility of this card is awesome because it's a 2-pip, right? So you get to see what the priority is. If you're going first, you could be super aggressive with this. But if you're going second, you can pivot and be defensive with it instead.
Yeah, like hide behind buildings with your free moves and stuff.
Yeah, that you think are gonna get, blown out of the water.
And I think you did that to me when we were playing in that corner. I think you played this and you backed up your bow unit so I couldn't shoot it or something like that.
No, I jumped at your vet unit so you couldn't escape.
Oh, that's right. That's what you did. Yeah.
You like jumped into melee?
Oh yeah.
No, I got within like 3 or 4 inches of the unit, so that because I think you played aerial assault too, so that
I think
you
so. We were matching cards, like
yeah.
Since we're talking about Clan Kryze, I think this is once again another great card for Clan Kryze, because Especially with the new, you know, Build a Bear Mandos coming out, the custom Mando leader. The custom Mando leader, you give what is that, War Party leader too? So it has direct mercenary. It helps with the death from above. So because it says this round when an allied unit with has a face up order token, and the jump keyword attacks, it gains death from above. So you don't have to just, it's not just the unit that is getting the order from the card. It's anybody with a face up order. So with Axe Woes, with Clan Kryze, having Axe Woes and then a Mandalorian leader, you're always going to have 2 extra order tokens, 1 to Axe and then 1 to whatever else you want to give. So these type of cards are really good.
Yeah, I played a game against Empire where I played my aerial assault, and I actually had seized the initiative on Axe. So I used seize that turn to give an order to my vets, and then directed to a fire support, directed to another fire support, gave an order to 2 warriors so they could jump forward and get into the mix. And I had 5 orders with death from above on, which was pretty spicy. I was able to take advantage on most of the shots.
Yeah, that's pretty spicy. Do you feel like death from above is that impactful of a keyword in this modern era where cover is pretty swingy and potentially just blanks out on what feels like most of your cover saves, or do you really like it?
I think death from above, because Mandos are generally a lower act army, that just taking cover out of the equation is a big deal for them to allow them to swing the tempo better into their favor. Mm-hmm. Now you eliminate that entire chance, like that they just even remove 2 hits from their shot, like
right,
or from your shot, which can be a big deal.
Yeah, and especially they're not, most of the time, except for like the warriors, but the big units that you're probably going to give this to usually have a bigger dice pool than 5. They're most of the time, probably when you're using this card, you're going to throw a pretty big dice pool, especially if you're using your vets or something like that, where the higher the dice pool becomes, the less or the more likely you're going to block shots, because more dice is going to give
with
you
cover,
more of a chance. Yeah, with cover and stuff like that. So taking that out on a big dice pool where you don't get to roll any cover, I think is gigantic.
Yeah. Well, and if you're doing the things that you guys just talked about, like, just the use case of the free jumps is great. But if you're really, stretching the value and you're using seize and direct and coordinate to get extra orders, now you've got 3, 4, 5 units that all are getting death from above. And so now that's 5 attack pools.
You're right, though. I mean, just because we are a lower act army, or Mandalorians are a lower act army, they definitely need every advantage they can get to level the playing field, I feel. And that's something that I feel like Gar is missing, personally.
Yeah, Republic,
yeah. Yeah, Republic, yeah.
I only point out that's Republic because if you're a new player and we're talking Mandalorians and you think we're talking about Gar Saxon, I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Grand Army of the Republic.
Grand Army of
clones. Yeah. So
clones. Who plays
homonyms.
Clones anymore?
Well, we got another command card that's generic to talk about. That's We Are Mandalorians. So you're only giving out 1 order with this. The unit that gets the order gains Inspire 2 and may immediately make a Speed 1 move. So it's another free move at the start of the round, and then you're removing 2 suppression during their activation. This round, when a unit issued an order by this card attacks, it may add X black dice to one of its attack pools to a maximum of 5, where X is the number of suppression tokens on other allied Mando troopers within 2. So you're probably adding multiple black dice based on how much suppression that unit and nearby units have. And notably, Inspire, the keyword, removes suppression at the end of the activation. So you get the benefit of this, and then you get to remove 2 suppression from nearby units at the end of this unit's activation. So this one feels pretty specific to me. Have you guys used this in Clan Kryze? And if so, how have you used it?
I think I'm gonna let Nick you talk about. He loves this card. I'm still on the fence with it.
So I think this card's amazing because the speed 1 move can be useful. It's not as good as a free jump, obviously, but it could be useful. And then the Inspire 2 is not to be discounted because generally Mandos struggle with suppression in this new crazy suppression game. And I know that's wild to say considering we're a Courage 2 army and everything, but trust me, suppression will ruin your day because you only have 10x
Right.
generally.
Well, and it hurts
You
to
know?
lose an action on a 90 or 100 point unit. You know, that was the thing with Republic, is that even those like, oh, I'm just suppressed that I lose an action types of suppression situations still really like lower your efficacy
Yes.
significantly.
Yeah. So side tangent, like Gar never really had to deal with, or sorry, clones never really had to deal with the suppression that much because suppression was it existed, but it generally was like whatever, like you could kind of ignore it. You usually got lucky enough on your rally rolls, whatever. But ever since the sniper change, like suppression is just everywhere.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and now the Courage 2 armies, like I feel bad for the Courage 1 armies because it must be much worse on that side, I think. But
Yeah. I think you have to
on the Courage
compensate
2
by bringing
armies,
a bunch of units because they can
right.
still only suppress or panic. Like if you have 15 acts, you panic one unit of stormtroopers, like it's fine. I got 14 others.
Right, and they have compel built in, and Saxon has access to that too. But like,
Yeah.
um, at Indy, I played against a suppression empire list that by the end of round 3, I think I had 6 to 7 suppression on every unit. It was insane.
That's
It was
wild.
nuts.
Yeah.
because he had 3 snipers, 3 mortars, the accompanying scouts. He had Vader. He Master of Eviled me. He had Krennic with Annihilation Looms. Like, yeah,
That is
just
disgusting.
and
That's
I literally panicked on like 7 of my 10 units, and I just couldn't do any, or 11 units, and I literally couldn't do anything. I just stood there and got shot.
So brutal.
And
Yeah,
look, you panicked and removed 2 suppression. Here's 2 more
Yeah.
from my
Yeah, yeah.
mortar shot. I was just like, oh
ugh,
god, please make it stop.
that's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
rough.
I haven't played a suppression list yet against the suppression list,
Yeah.
but I am a little concerned with Mandos. I feel like with suppression lists, you're definitely gonna have to do this a lot of hiding until you can get into like melee with them, so you can negate a lot of their suppression, which is really hard to do when they're most of these suppression lists are range 4 to 5 and you're like, well, if
Yeah,
I
you gotta
can
close
get
that
into
gap.
this,
Yeah.
you got to close that gap. But if,
Well, it's easy. You get a speed 1 move from this card. Gap
Yeah,
closed.
yeah.
Army
on
solved.
one unit.
Right.
So, needless to say, this card is good. Maybe not into a suppression only list like that list was, but it's good into like your general fare because that extra 2 Inspire can make sure that a clutch unit definitely gets to activate.
Yeah.
And then you could do some pretty fun things with this guy. Like, I gave it to my Mandalorian leader with a sniper rifle so that he was throwing 1 red, 6 black, 1 white, Pierce 1, sharpshooter 2, high velocity from downtown, and just like murk somebody.
Specialty rounds,
which
baby.
which was pretty clutch and just amazing. And then I know our buddy Josh at Indy was doing the same thing with Gar Saxon. He was using this card to use his sniper rifle, 2 red, 6 black from downtown, high velocity, lethal 2, and marksman. And
and I think it's good with splitting fire too, right? Because, like we said earlier, sometimes the problem with splitting fire is that you just don't have enough oomph in some of those attacks. Well,
yes.
What if one of those attacks got to roll an extra 5 dice? Like that's now all of a sudden pretty good.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So you can flamer the one dude. I mean, it's like the art on the card, right? It's like you're flying around, you're flaming over to the one side. You got your Galars and your heavy shooting this way. and then you've got your your range 2 pistol augmented with 5 extra dice, and they're blasting these guys up close, and you're having a good time. You're having a party.
So I think this card is pretty clutch for Mandos, especially when you have like a high importance attack or profile target that needs to go down. This helps you push you over the edge, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only concern with this card is it is kind of situational. Like
It
you
is.
definitely want to use the the attack pool. So you have to make sure that you have suppression. So I mean, if you're planning on using this card to do something, it's you have to put units out there to get shot. And so it
Yeah.
could become kind of dangerous. But this is a great card to play. I guess like reactive wise, that if you've gotten shot a lot and you have a lot of suppression and you have a unit that could throw this like haymaker, this is a great 1 pip to play.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel you're accumulating extra suppression because of all the dodges? Like you're basically getting shot multiple times and it takes a while to get through all the Mandos are stronger together dodges?
Yeah. I mean, plus just general red save nonsense. Like sometimes you just save out a bunch,
Yeah.
I did use it to good effect to guarantee I got a kill on Bad Batch, which was a big deal in a game I played.
That's a big deal.
It was a vet unit that charged into Bad Batch. They got to flamer them, throw their entire dice pool plus an extra 5, and I just one-shot them.
Oh my gosh. One-shotting Bad Batch is a phrase that has heretofore never been uttered in Star Wars Legion.
Yeah, I mean,
one-shotted Bad Batch.
I got lucky. I mean,
sure.
But yeah.
Here we were thinking Mandos were going to be bad. Oh, jeez.
I mean, statistically, that's like an impossibility before Mandalorians in this card.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, I was playing against a Gar player with Rex, and we do what we do, and I dangled, like I said earlier, like the honeypot thing. I dangled a warrior out there for him to blow up. He went for it, and then the vet unit was right behind them, and outside of his Bad Batch start range, but inside my charge range.
Yeah.
Being a Gar player and recognizing some of that's like recognizing when they play something like that what they're doing, that you can kind of bait them into that. I feel like, especially when you're playing Mandalorians, is kind of disgusting.
Yeah, and I guess that just comes from my experiences playing Gar, my experience with Bad Batch. Part of it was that, and I was able to leverage it against my opponent. But
yeah.
Well, guys, there's one more command card to talk about here before we get into the characters and stuff. Clan Kryze has the command card Close Formation, which orders 2 Kryze units. It's a 2 pip. And it says this round, while an allied Kryze unit is within 1 of another allied Kryze unit, those units gain Precise 1 and Outmaneuver. Now, obviously, your Kryze units want to be within 2 of others for Mandos are stronger together, but range 1 and range 2 are different. Have you guys found this card to be impactful or tricky to use, or both, or neither?
I like this card. I mean, I used it. I used it when I played the full Clan Kryze list. I only got to use it like twice or something like that. But I do like it because when you dive, so especially if you're in range, this is like round 3 or something like that. You're round 2, you played a dive card. Now you have a whole bunch of units that are in close to somebody, and they're all kind of bunched up on a point. Playing this card is really nice because it isn't just the units that are issued order, it's your whole army. So your whole army being close to another allied unit, which you're already kind of playing that style,
Yeah.
You just have to make sure that they're in range 1 instead of range 2, are going to get precise and outmaneuver, which plays off of Clan Kryze in general. Because they want an aim so they can spend that aim to get a dodge. So to me it is definitely, when you're playing Clan Kryze at the moment, unless something ever comes out, in my opinion, it's an automatic take.
Could
And
you imagine if this was a Ren card instead of a Kryze card?
this would be disgusting.
It would be so
This
good.
card could
Maybe
ever be a
outmaneuver
clan
to all your Ren units that all have
Yeah.
dodges.
Which is why it's not a Ren card.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I personally think this is probably
and you can play a buddy system with
all-
this, right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't all have to have your whole army all in one spot. As long as they're off in 2s and 3s, then this card still works just fine.
Yeah,
and
you bring up a good point.
no, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying that like Mandos feel like they're able to split up more effectively than most armies outside
Yeah.
of like rebels or.
Yeah.
But even when you split up, you still want to stay, like, you still want the buddy system. When you split up, you're still like sending 2 units that way instead of like 1 unit. Because
Yeah,
you need another unit near you to do the whole kind of Mando trick, which is, being in range to flip a token for another token with Clan Kryze, or give a dodge because you have attacked with like Clan Ren, or as you're sacrificing bodies with Gar Saxon, you're getting your tokens and stuff like that. So it is an army that wants to be bunched up, but it doesn't need to be bunched up in like the whole army, like with Gar. It can be bunched up in like small cells.
Yeah, which is awesome and kind of freeing coming from the Republic side. It feels
From
good.
the shackles of the Republic
Yeah.
side.
And I think droids also want to cluster up a lot. I talk about that between coordinate and
Yeah.
exemplar and
Yeah. And I think in Graham in our game, I think I played this to good effect because I played it on like turn 3, I think, when we were everything was like on the middle POI and closed the pocket. And it came
Yeah.
up. It felt pretty good.
yeah.
Helped me maybe tip the battle in my favor with the precise rerolls and
I think outmaneuver is becoming more relevant as a keyword again. It used to be at the end of first edition extremely powerful because cover was so potent. So you needed crits to get through cover. And so most times, I would say, you would have some dodges on the battlefield somewhere that couldn't be used. Now I think we're seeing some more of that again.
I do think you're seeing a
through.
lot more lethal. So having that outmaneuver so you can, kind of, you lose out on lethal 2 or something like that. Or even just pierce, if, I know we have impervious, but still, if 2 wounds come through or 2 shots come through, one is like to heavy cover, you block 1, but you still have that crit, you can still dodge and negate like that pierce. So I think this is it, like most cards, situational, but it's still, I think, really good for Clan Kryze because they're constantly staying within range, getting an aim, and getting a dodge. It plays into that whole thing.
Yeah.
And I will say, Graham, like, since I played so many Bo Ren games, there were a ton of times where you like roll a really good cover roll, and then the only thing left is crits, and you can't spend your dodges on it, or like, they just get lucky and they roll like 2 natty crits on their attack, and you just can't spend your dodges. So like,
Right.
that happened to me a lot when I was playing Bo Ren, and I think the more dodges you have, the more like use or more instances where it will come up, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're playing Ren, you just have tons of dodges on the field, and when you're playing Kryze, you generally have a ton of dodges on the field because of the way Mandalorians are stronger together works.
Right.
So I think this card will actually get use out of the outmaneuver. No, it's not going to happen every game, obviously, but just to your point, I think it's a much more relevant keyword than people give it credit for these days.
Yeah.
But it
I think
really
the
only
first
comes
couple
up when you
years-
have the dodges to spend, right?
Right. Well, at the first year and a half of second edition, with the advent of the large dice pools, like outmaneuvers value went way down, and now I think we're finally seeing enough critical introduced back into the atmosphere that it can matter a lot. So
The amount of times I got shot by a mortar and it was just like 2 crits, I couldn't spend my die.
Right.
Really made me angry.
But yeah, especially with the white dice, like they either crit or blank out. I
They're
feel like
blacks.
most of the
They're
time.
blacks crit 1 now.
Oh, are
Yeah, either way, yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. Well, let's keep moving forward here. So let's talk about Mandalorian warriors, because they're the backbone of all Mandalorian armies. This is a unit that's got jump 2, duelist, and impervious. It rolls 2 dice in melee, black, white, and then, as I was recently reminded, 1 black at range 2. Although you can take the carbines, the Galars, to up them to range 3. Or if you have an aim, you can spend the aim on long shot to get them up to range 3. They have access to the 2 heavies, the Shucker Repeater at range 3 with Overwhelm, or the Micro Grenade Launcher, which is a tapping cycle weapon that gives blast and impact 1. And then you can take Axe or Bo-Katan upgrades in this unit if you want to as personnel slots. The warriors are the bread and butter here. Are you leaning into warriors a whole lot with your Kryze units, or do you find that they're just kind of there to pay your core tax and they're unlocking the other stuff that's in your army in terms of fire supports and veterans?
So the unique thing about Mandos in general is like just the 5 body base units, right?
Yeah.
So I've been using them as the backbone. I take a lot of them usually. They feel good.
Yeah.
You can build them a bunch of different ways. It's fun.
Honestly, probably one of the best core units in the game, like hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They already come 5-man squad, so their dice pool, it's at range 1, or at range 2 or 1 to 3 or whatever, is still only 5 black, which is, it's still surging, which is still a good dice pool. You get them into melee, they now have duelist, where they're throwing, if they're a full squad, 5 black, 5 white, surging, which is still good. You have that aim on them. So I think that, just taking the Mandalorian warriors just by themselves, you can easily load up on this and not feel bad taking a whole bunch of them.
They're flexible, right? Like they can fight in melee, they can provide some fire support with a heavy, they can get around the table because of jump. Like being immune to Pierce 1 is insane. They're just really good.
I think my only complaint is, and it probably would be a little bit busted, but I think it would help the custom units. I wish they had an upgrade where they could have full Beskar, so they could get surging blocks and like speed 3, like gave them like full Beskar and gave them speed 3 so that they could become vets or something like that, but other than that, that's wishful thinking.
You can give them into the fray,
sure,
which is only notable in Kryze because then you can sit on you can use your Kryze affiliation ability to save green tokens. So you can potentially like hold on to the searches for whatever that's worth.
Yeah,
I think into the fray is cool in any of the clans personally, but yeah, it's definitely got much more added value in Kryze because there's been the amount of times you have a surge that's left over is, especially when you can't share it, like they just stick around, right? Which is awesome.
Yeah, especially because you're going to be able to, at that point you're in range 1, you're going to be able to like either move and shoot or move and punch. So you're going to be able to spend that, you're able to do one action, which is an aim, and the other action is an attack, which you're going to get then a dodge, and you're also starting with a surge. So Into the Fray
Yeah.
is really good on, especially with Clan Kryze. Um, I think I'm starting to subscribe to it a little bit more.
The
The more and more,
the only thing I
I've
hate about Into the Fray is remembering it.
yeah. So I know you loved putting Into the Fray on arcs, and
Oh
I
yeah.
was like the opposite. I was like, I feel like this is a waste, and it was just me, like,
Mhm.
because I feel like my arcs were either going to like leave the table immediately or sit there and keep on punching constantly. Like, I don't know, it's just me and my red dice are either on or off, and so I always felt like there's no reason for me to put this on the arcs, but you had it on every arc, and I was just like, man, that's probably a good idea, but
I
I
got a lot of
hated it.
value out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, where
Only
now
once I
I'm
started
starting
remembering them.
and me playing like now playing around with Clan Kryze, I'm like, Into the Fray. This is looking kind of good
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
4
absolutely.
points.
Let's talk about initiates because that's the other core unit option, and we don't have to belabor the point, but I think generally the reception of initiates from the community has been pretty lukewarm to luke cold.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
get a
Ah,
lot of
garbage.
value from an extra 8 points, on the warriors with all those keywords and the improved melee attack pool.
I don't think one
cheaper,
for a filler
but-
unit is bad. Like,
Okay.
I don't think it's a bad use of points, especially if you're keeping it back.
Yeah.
I like.
I think hands down they're the best core like baseline option in the game. It's a real hard sell for only 8 points cheaper or 8 points more when you can just take warriors or are just better in every way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think initiates will become a discussion when they drop just a couple of points, because on a core unit, even if they drop to like 54 or 52, and all of a sudden you can change up your, if we're talking Kryze, right? Like how many initiates can you put in to save points on warriors to then unlock another Kryze vet unit or something, right?
Right. And I mean, even if you play 2 initiates, that's only saving you 16 points. That's like not enough to get you anything of real value, I feel.
Sure.
Yeah, probably
I
not,
don't
but yeah, I would just say if you feel like losing the utility of a warriors unit is worth whatever you're spending those extra 8 points on, then that's the question you're asking yourself, right? Like if that gets you vigilance, is vigilance worth it in Clan Kryze? Maybe it synergizes with what you want to do. If you're just going to have
close and personal.
Yeah, from on your vets that you're diving in with one of those good command cards and you're splitting fire, you're getting 4 extra dodges out of the deal. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Definitely entertained it.
It's,
I've never pulled the trigger on it.
yeah. So then, moving right along, there's the warrior fire supports. This adds in the use of the Galar 90 sniper rifle. This is a detachment, so if you are bringing warriors, which you should, then you have access to fire supports. And then otherwise, instead of duelist, they get sharpshooter 1, which is way worse of a keyword in a vacuum, but I don't hate sharpshooter. I think it's fine. Do you guys like this unit specifically in Kryze? Are you doing anything special with it, or you just throwing Shucker and the rockets on it and calling it a day?
Yeah, I feel like it's still the standard. If you're taking this unit, it's getting the Shucker and it's getting the rocket because it's going to be your backline unit. So that's just me. Where your regular warriors are kind of charging to the front. I don't think you have to take them. Honestly, you can take all warriors if you really wanted to. You're not going to get the same punch range wise with your warriors, but you still have an extra hit point for less points in general, and gives you the option to mess around with something else like on the vets or on your Mandalorian leaders or your hunter or something like that. So me, I like the fire sports. Most of the time, I'm taking two of them. They're getting the rockets and they're getting the shucker. That's just me
Same.
in general.
That's generally like my baseline is I'll take two. I have found that the sharpshooter has pretty useful. Again, low act army needing to make sure every shot counts. The sharpshooter tends to help with that. Um, and then the shucker having overwhelm is a pretty big deal. Like helps you, like if you're stuck on bring them to heal or something, it helps you get that suppression out that you desperately need. Or if you're like on surface scan, you need them to drop the token. They're good for that kind of use case.
Yeah, or even just splitting fire for suppression to try to help flip points.
Yeah.
You're putting out 3 suppression if you split with the shucker, right? 2 from the shucker with an aim, and then 1 from the blaster rifles. So
Yeah.
I guess the Galars.
I'm just a little sad that they're only range 3 because then it's like really hard for them on certain missions to like support another POI, But a lot
Yeah,
of the
Yeah.
others, there are a lot of ones where they can do that job. It's just like close the pocket. If they're on a side point, they can't really affect the middle. Feels bad.
I was kind
but
of hoping that the fire supports would get a different range 2 gun and like a range 4 gun or something. Like that's just me, but um, you know, I still think the shucker is good. So is the
yeah,
grenade launcher. You're not going to use the grenade launcher on the fire support team, but um,
right.
I think in certain aspects, the sniper rifle you can have it on them. But it's a sniper unit that you're wanting in range 3, which I think is a little troublesome.
yeah. I'm not really sold on the snipers.
I know the community's been pretty cold on sniper on the fire support Galar 90 snipers, but because sniper is like kind of a misnomer in terms of what sniper means in Legion. Like right now, sniper means the sniper team keyword, and you're doing auto wounds and putting out tons of suppression. And this is neither of those, nor is it the long range. It's range 4, lethal 1. But this reminds me of the EXD, like Experimental Droids Battleforce, when you had the BX Commandos. They had a really big range 3 pool, and you would support them by giving them an aim through Exemplar, and then they would get like 7 Pierce 1 at a time before Super Squads exist. So that was pretty potent. And I think that's actually what this sniper rifle does, is it's actually like a Pierce 1 range pool, like range 3. And so you're rolling 5 black and a red surging.
Yeah.
Like, sure. If we're talking about Clan Kryze, using the aim that they get from whatever on lethal 1 doesn't earn you the dodge back, I don't think, from Mandos or Stronger Together. Or does it?
I think it does. I think it's just anytime you spend it during the attack sequence. But I
Yeah.
could be wrong.
Oh, you're right.
I
thought
have
it was
a
during the reroll
question.
step, but it's anytime. So yeah, that
What?
triggering the lethal does get them the dodge from Mandos or Stronger Together.
Which is nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Good to know. It just baffles me that AMG released this sniper rifle, quote unquote, right after they axed all the other sniper rifles in the game that were, like similar price point, similar weapon profile. I mean, this one's even worse. It's 1 less range band for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get it.
So I know this is kind of crazy to think, and I know that they're trying to make it a little bit more, I shouldn't say simple, because they do love their words when they make cards. But part of me, like, I feel like this would have been a lot better, and I think you would see more of the sniper rifle if it did something in the lines of it becomes like a 65 point, but what it does is it reduces the unit to a sniper team. 2 guys, it gives them the sniper keyword. It gives them everything that like all these other sniper units get. It's just you either choose, it's either going to be a support squad that's a bigger squad, or it's going to become a sniper team. And I feel like they kind of missed out on doing that and having that ability to do it with a upgrade card, because I then you don't have to make another unit. You're getting play, and it's like the sniper rifle is only allowed on the fire support team. You know what I mean? This type of sniper,
vets,
because
yeah.
yeah, or yeah, if you really wanted to, you could do the vets, but I don't think you're ever gonna really want to do that with the vets. But so I think that this would have been. I think the vets should have got something closer to a shotgun. I think the micro grenade launcher should have been a little bit more impact and maybe get rid of the blast, get a shotgun for the vets, make the sniper rifle into something that makes the Mandalorian fire supports into an actual sniper team. And then, then you're not looking at this sniper card that you got rid of all the sniper rifles, changed the way that snipers play, but you didn't give that to Mandos. And so you just added this range 4 gun so they could have a range 4 gun that's never going to really get used. So I kind of feel bad with that.
Yeah.
I think the gun's fine. It just needs to be cheaper. It's just too expensive right now.
Sure. I can agree with you on that. I think that it becoming a lot cheaper, you'd probably actually see more play with it. I can agree.
Absolutely.
Especially with the rocket, it would help with their disadvantage against armor a little bit.
So let's talk about the Clan Kryze veterans. This would be one of the reasons why you would even want to play the Clan Kryze affiliation. It's really quite a centerpiece unit, because it does it all, and it's very good at it. So this is 120 points base for a 5-man squad. Yeah, it's a big boy. And you're going to see this in Rebel and Republic armies as well. Today we're just talking about it in the context of the Clan Kryze Battleforce. But they do come with Jump 2 and Impervious, and Mandos are stronger together, much like the Warriors. They don't have Duelists. They do have Tactical 1. And they do have built-in Speed 3, built-in Surging Red saves, 1 health each, 2 courage. They've got the Galar 15s at range 3, and then blaster pistols are red-white, melee to range 2. And then they have access to the same 3 heavy weapons that the fire support teams do. So Shucker, Grenade Launcher, Galar 90 Sniper. They also have access to the unique axe and the unique Bo-Katan, and this is a great use case, I think, for those personnel upgrades. And then you get the flamers, you get the combat shields, you get the jetpack rockets, you get up close and personal. There's a ton of really good upgrades that can go on this unit. What's the deal with Clan Kryze vets, guys? How have you used them?
They're my hammer most of the time. I use them as my hammer, but I absolutely do not try to go after Jedi with them, because they only have Impervious. They don't have Duelists, so they can't protect themselves. They will just get chopped up.
Yeah, and expensive. It's they have Impervious. Yeah, they have Surging Reds, but why? I mean, you put a heavy weapon on this squad, it's 150. If you're doing the crazy one, where you throw like bow or something in here and a heavy, it's 180.
Yeah, it gets pricey.
Before flamers and rockets and things,
yeah, it gets pricey.
They're very pricey, so you have to be very cagey and very careful with this unit, or any veteran unit in the Mandalorian roster, to be honest. I usually only commit them if I know I'm only taking maybe 1 or 2 shots in return, and even then that's feels bad. If I could, avoid it, I try to.
Yeah, I play a little bit. So I've been playing a little bit looser with them. There's a surging block. I either get punished for it or or it's like I'm going to bear down on their army and it's going to be a real problem. So
Where you're
I
playing in the sprinkler. It's one or the
yeah,
other.
pretty much like uh so I get a little bit more aggressive with them, and I'm the more and more I play and like do head legion with Clan Kryze, the more and more I'm starting to more align with Nick a little bit, playing a little bit cagey with them until it's time to like lay the hammer down.
Yeah,
What do
it's
you
like
guys?
in our game, like you put that one Kryze unit up real far, the Kryze vet
Yeah.
unit, and then I attacked it with my vet unit, or sorry, Ren unit. You were playing Ren, and I attacked it with my Kryze vet unit and like wiped it down to a man, and then my sniper hunter or leader came out and just finished them off. So like, I know like that was a huge tempo swing for me, and I know it
Oh
probably felt
yeah.
pretty bad for you on that
Oh,
side.
it was horrible.
Yeah,
It was definitely bad. And I am actually a little bit impressed on how well I was able to like hang into the game after that. I really
yeah.
felt like the game was over.
How many of these units are you guys taking, and what are your loadouts? Or go-tos, I should say. Go-to loadouts.
I would say 1 to 2,
Yeah,
honestly. It's going to be really hard to hit 3 with them.
so expensive.
Yeah.
And if you're running 3, you're at like 8 or 9x, and you're having a real hard time if there's like dice variance that swings against you or whatever. I think, but
Is it just me, or does it feel like the Clan Kryze veteran really want to take the grenade launcher? It just, to me, it just seems like because they're already expensive, it is the cheapest upgrade. But now you have 6 instead of 5, and you're rolling a blast shot. I think it's to me, I think that the Clan Kryze veteran, if you're going to take like a heavy weapon upgrade, it's going to be the grenade launcher. Even if you're taking 2 of them, you're going to do like the grenade launcher and the flamethrower.
yeah, I
I
really
don't know.
liked the grenade launcher. I thought originally I was gonna hate it, but that like again, like I was saying earlier, just like taking cover out of the equation is a big deal.
Yeah.
That
Especially if you're
blast
getting in the
keyword goes
range
real
2
far.
band and like need to split fire. I mean, this is still a decent weapon to split fire with. If you have a full unit, you can, you have 6 guys. You can have 2 guys do a range 2 shot and 2 guys, do the carbine shot, which is, or I mean, 3 guys do the carbine shot, which is not like a terrible attack. So I
Yeah,
just,
absolutely.
yeah, I don't like, once again, I think it plays well into vets because they have that range 2 gun. Especially if you're playing you have a Mandalorian leader, and what you're playing that honor and strength. I mean, this is it's a pretty good card for your vets.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that one, but that like nearby allied units attacks, it upgrades 2 dice in each of their pools. So when you split fire, you're upgrading all of their attacks. And so, the vets, in many cases, Kryze included, like there's times when you want to split fire like 3 or 4 ways, and you're turning those pools into like there's a lot of surging reds that show up with those upgraded dice, and so you're very consistently putting out the suppression you want to, or dealing the damage that you want to. So great use of that command card.
Yeah,
In
honor and
combination
strength
with
feels
this
real
unit.
good when you play it. Yeah, it feels real good when you play that card.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of contention about that card, but I think just again being Lorax, like making sure your dice pulls are consistent goes a really long way.
Yeah. Nick, I know that you've used the Bo-Katan upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think if you're gonna run a single vet unit, like I think you put bow in it personally. Her upgrade card it's expensive, 30 points. I mean, granted, but the ability on it is kind of a big deal. Like it removes all suppression when you tap it at the start of their activation, which means it's going to get to do whatever it wants to do and you can't stop it, but it's
Yeah.
sort of killing it,
Yeah.
right? That came up in our game, Graham.
Yeah, well, because I had suppressed that a lot, kind of forgetting about what Bo's ability is. So Bo's tappable ability says at the start of this unit's activation, tap this card, remove all suppression from it, and it gains charge. And so all of a sudden, the threat of, okay, I've put 4 or 5 suppression on this unit, so hopefully it only gets the 1 action. I'm outside of range 3 from it, or I was maybe within range 3 but outside of range 2. So I was thinking like, okay, maybe he rallies and he's able to move up and shoot, but if he doesn't rally, he can't even get to contest this point. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, actually, surprise. I remove all suppression, I double move range 3, charge into you with 2 aims from tactical, and like it went from probably not doing much of anything, or it has to pick between contesting or attacking, to completely wiping my squad and contesting the point. And so like kind of a best use case of that card, but as the opponent, it removed my option of suppressing the really expensive unit. And I think that's very relevant.
Yeah, and I think that was really clutch, and I think it's an overlooked part of Bo's upgrade, personally.
Yeah.
And I think being able to give that unit charge like at any point during the game when you need to is a big deal.
Yeah.
Not relying on me playing, a command card, and then there's even if I play that command card, I'm still susceptible to suppression, right? Like that kind of thing. And I just think she's worth the points to put in a vet squad, personally.
Yeah. It's asking you to commit a lot of points, but you're probably already committing a lot of points.
Right, especially when the unit's like pushing 200 points, you need it to perform, right? And she helps you do that.
Yeah. So then, while we're talking about these upgrades, Axe Woves also has a personnel upgrade. Both Bo and Axe can go into any Clan Kryze units. We're just talking about them in the use case of vets, but theoretically you could also put them in warriors and stuff too. The Axe card gives this unit independent aim 1 or dodge 1 and infiltrate. Infiltrate is a pretty good keyword. Independent aim or dodge, also pretty good. If you guys thought about putting Axe in a vet squad, and then I'll ask if you put these upgrades into your other squads as well.
I think I would put Axe only when you're taking the vets as a mercenary unit.
Yeah, my first thought goes to Yoda.
Yeah,
infiltrating vets with Relentless seems real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially you just play that 2-pip and they're speed 3.
Like speed 3 Relentless.
They've infiltrated. Like they are probably a suicide unit for sure, but they are on top of something doing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So.
But as you pointed out before we started casting, Graham, I think Axe Woes in like warrior unit is pretty good because then you're giving 2 units infiltrate, which is pretty spicy.
Yeah. I think he's always better suited, I think, in Mandalorian warriors, because then you're getting the fire support unit with infiltrate and you're getting the regular unit with infiltrate.
And you're getting some token generation, which is pretty key.
Yeah.
To what Kryze wants to be doing.
And I feel like you're not often giving orders to your core units in this army because you've got those, command cards we talked about. Usually we're giving those to like vets or your heroes or something like that. So independent triggers.
Right. Yeah. And as I learned recently, if you give a warrior squad infiltrate, he also gives it to his detachment squad, which is bizarre to me, but it's cool. That
sure does.
Yeah, you can infiltrate with your detachment, throw your rockets or something. It's pretty good.
Now, the other thing that Graham blew my mind on earlier was that it also applies to prepared positions, which I hadn't considered. So there is some play with garrison, I think, where you can garrison one of your warrior squads and then prepare position alongside them fire support.
Yeah.
Which might be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Extra dodges to start the game with.
Yeah.
Does give a little,
especially if there's a good place to hide them.
Yeah.
Extra play on that. And especially I think right now, because everybody would see garrison and they'll be like, oh, that's a wasted card. Why are you using that one? You know what I mean? So
right.
Like, I think the nice thing about Axe in the warrior squad, I feel like this definitely, if you're not taking like bow with a saber, or the dark saber, this unit easily plays into. This is going to be the unit that is going to probably go and tie up a Jedi. I mean, it's 94 points,
Starts around with a
and
dodge.
yeah,
C2.
starts. It's infiltrating, so you can easily get into that melee unit when you need to.
6
It's
wounds.
very,
Red saves.
yeah.
Yeah. Probably get him into the fray.
Yeah, right. So yeah, so I think this makes
Just
a
beeline it at Vader.
yeah, it does make a cheap Vader like deterrent. You just kind of exactly beeline him into Vader or Anakin and just tie him up at least 2 rounds, and that's yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So like your Axe Frey Mando Warriors unit, right? You engage your Anakin or your opponent's Anakin. And then start of the round, they get an independent dodge. Either Anakin's forced to attack because you activate Anakin earlier in the round. Anakin attacks, you spend the dodge, you get an aim, and then you activate your warriors, aim punch, and now you have 2 aims into Anakin. That's kind of cool. Or they save Anakin till the end of the round, they out-activate you because you're Mandalorians and you only have 10 activations. And so then on your turn, you aim and punch with your healthy warriors. So you have 1 aim, but now 2 dodges, and then Anakin goes to attack you, and you dodge 2 of the 5 hits, and you're immune pierce, right? Like, both of those are bad for the Jedi that you've engaged. It's kind of interesting.
For 98 points.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Feels good.
I think yeah, it feels really good. It feels really good.
Yeah.
I couldn't ever imagine doing that with a clone unit.
I don't know if the viewers have picked up, but me and Nick have some PTSD with clones at the moment.
Yeah. You guys are
Maybe just a little.
clones. I do think Mandalorians, their existence has illuminated maybe the cracks in the foundation for clones, and I think the game plays a little bit differently than fall of 2024 when the clones got hit with the big wave of points increases, and so I think we can start seeing some of those dialed back a little bit.
Yeah,
we'll see if it happens, but
I think honestly, and I really feel like you could fix clones by giving them surge to hit, or bring back old fire support, but you can't use it on a beef squad.
We don't have enough time in this podcast to debate fire support and beef clones, right? Like we're approaching the 2-hour mark, and we got 3 armies to talk about and 2 main characters. So I'm just gonna nick that.
I love how Graham can keep me on task.
The centerpiece of your army, in many ways, is likely Bo-Katan Kryze. She is 110 points base for 5 health, 3 courage, surge to crit, surging red saves. She's got impervious, built-in death from above, jump 2, Mandalorians are stronger together, built-in tactical 1. She has a range 2 dual blaster pistols that are high velocity, 2 red, 2 black. And notably, she also has the unique upgrade, the Dark Saber. If you don't want to roll the 2 red, 2 black in melee, you can roll 5 black, impact 1, pierce 1 in melee. And this upgrade really shines in Mandalorian Soup, because it says all Mandalorian trooper units gain Mandalorians are stronger together. I am curious if you guys think you don't need the Dark Saber if you're playing solo Clan Kryze, because they all already have stronger together anyway.
It depends on what you're going to use her for. I think if you're going to use her as your deterrent for Jedis, you have to have the Dark Saber, because you need that immune pierce. I think if you're going to use her as kind of like this hit and run unit, you don't need it. I think, especially with the high velocity, it's great. And if you are gonna dive her, you could not take the dark saber and put tenacity on her, because getting her into position, you're probably gonna at least take 1 wound. So now you're diving with her with 3 red, 2 black, high velocity, surge to crit with an aim. So it's
I think she's much better as a skirmisher
yeah, I
side of
agree with
soup.
that.
I think she feels real good when she has death from above and she's shooting like normal troopers. You're just like, you can't do anything about this except armor save. Feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's high velocity. If she
No
moved
cover.
first or has an aim from somewhere, right? She's probably just getting like 4. Just here's 4. Save them.
She feels kind of like Sabine in that regard when you can trigger death from above.
Yeah. Are there other upgrades you're putting on Bo?
Either the shield, I feel like vigilance, the shield, and tenacity are really good on her. I think the whipcord can find some use. I still think the whipcord is a little bit hard to use because it's an
So hard to
action.
use. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really tough. I feel like the whipcord is being used on dive cards that give
Like
you
charge or
either
something?
charge or relentless or something like that. I think that's the only kind of play that you're going to be able to use the whipcord, but you still have to make sure that you're in 1 move to get that card off.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is, I honestly think Bo with the whipcord launcher is another one, and the problem is she's kind of expensive. Is you're looking at like kind of that Yoda relentless 2-pip card, where she's going to be able to shoot and then also whipcord something. So
Yeah, and her 1-pip's real solid too. If you have the dark saber, you can run in and
yeah,
still get your attack off and then whipcord.
Yeah.
You give up an attack, which could hurt, but the whipcord might be game winning, right? Just depends.
yeah. I
Especially
think
if
it's
you can
hard to get it on her.
freeze an enemy off a point. Like,
Yeah, mobilize
that
2
feels pretty good.
suppression. Just
Yeah.
shut down like Vader or Yoda or something. Just be
Yeah.
like, you're stuck there, boy.
It is a good. I mean, it is. You can use it with her, especially if she has the dark saber when you're already in melee, where one action is to use the whipcord, so it keeps them there with you, so they can't get out that turn. Especially if you have them locked in someplace where they needed to move to score a point or something like that. It forces them to fight you.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, but I think usually the upgrades you'll see on her is if you're playing her as a skirmish and you have the points, you'll see the shield. I think you'll see tenacity and vigilance on her a lot, and the dark saber for sure.
Do you like stacking vigilance with the affiliation from the Battleforce? In saving 5
Absolutely.
tokens around instead of 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 I feel like you got to lean into the token savings if you're going to play Kryze.
100%. You're definitely taking.
Yeah.
Especially because you're like guaranteed to have the tokens to save most of the times, right? Like, again, like we mentioned, the way Mandalorians are strung together means is like you're never actually losing the token throughout the
Right.
round, right? You're always going to have whatever the opposite is.
Right.
So there's lots of opportunities to actually keep vigilance around, unlike when, in my experience trying to play it in Republic with like Yoda, some turns you just spend them all and there's nothing to keep. And you're like, well,
Right.
that's a great 9 points I spent. That I
Yeah,
can't email you out of.
Yeah. Nick, you alluded to her command cards. So she's got a higher purpose, which is her 1-pip. She gets a free recover at the start of her activation. And then she gains barrage and relentless. While engaged, her weapons gain pierce 1. So barrage lets her attack twice. And relentless is there too. So you can like move, relentless attack, and then attack again. Or I guess you can move relentless, right?
Yeah, you can like move, shoot, and
Yeah.
you get 2 dodges that way too, because it's tactical.
Sure
Oh,
do.
that's right. That's right. So that's probably the best case there. But yeah, you're right that can set up a whipcord turn, but you are giving up one of those relentless attacks.
Yeah, I did use that to good effect in one game where I actually had a whipcord on her, and it felt bad in the moment, but it actually won me the game in the long run, right? So I was able to just keep Anakin off the point. I was like, "You stay over there."
Yeah. And no, thank you.
Yeah. While I murder your clones.
Yeah. She also has Mandalore will survive. It gives an order to her and 2 other units. All units issued orders with this card can remove a suppression, again helping with that low activation count and getting your full effectiveness out of your units. And then this round, when an allied Kryze unit with a face-up order token makes an attack action, after that effect is resolved, it can make a speed 1 move. We talked earlier about cheating some extra orders between direct, coordinate, and seize. And so you can potentially get multiple, like 4 or 5, I guess maybe even 6 speed 1 moves out of this. That's kind of crazy. Have you guys used this card? And if so, do you like it?
I have used it. I like it. I think it's, again, another situational card. It is very hard to either decide to take that or honor and strength. I mean, because you're taking weapons are religion no matter what. Like you're taking that. And I think with Clan Kryze, you're going to take, because of how Axe works, you're going to take at least 1 Mandalorian leader, so you can start that like chain by giving him an order, and then he can pass an order along to another unit. So I think you're definitely gonna see that. So it's hard, but I do think it's a good card. I mean,
Yeah.
after shooting and then being able to move, and you having 5 units that could do this with, if you have the Mandalorian Hunter and the Axe Woves, that's huge, because then you could still move, shoot, and then do a speed 1 move again, which if you maybe wanted to get an attack off and had to either move and then decide to either do a second move to get into scoring, but you didn't need a full move, you just needed a small move, this helps. So doing that, being able to do that on like 5 units is really good. Or hiding that unit after it like pokes out, shoots, and then goes and hides behind something. I think you have a lot of options with that.
Yeah, it gives you pseudo steady, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
This is really good for Bo, because Bo can jump up onto something, shoot, and then hide behind that building.
Yeah.
So I think it's also pretty good for vets, because they can do the same thing. They can speed 3 move up onto something, shoot with a speed 2 gun, and then hide behind that building. So there's a lot of good uses for this. But you're also, like I said, you're also competing with either weapons are religion or honor and strength, where I wouldn't be surprised if actually you see more people dropping weapons are religion if they're running Bo as a leader, and taking honor and strength and Mandalore will survive over weapons are religion. That could be a crazy statement, but I can see that kind of happening.
I also really like that this. I don't think you're wrong to a certain extent. I also like that this unit or this card gives some suppression mitigation too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially in the meta we're in these days.
Yeah. So I've been playing around with the Rex clones squad, which after Rex kills a unit, he gets a free action, or that squad gets a free action. And most of the time it ends up just being another move, or it creates sort of this situation where I'm like, well, if I can, I got to switch points. So if Rex can move and shoot and kill that like squad, it's like round 4 and they're pretty beleaguered. If I can kill that squad, I get another move and I can get onto that point and I can flip it. And that's the same effect as this, except you don't have to kill anything to do it. You just get to make the speed 1 move. I think that's way better.
And the fact that it's only orders too is like awesome.
Yeah. So you get multiple units that get affected by this. You can guarantee that you're going to get that extra move. It's kind of like it's a less restrictive Rex and it's a less restrictive Strike and Fade. In that it's not, I guess it's comparable to Strike and Fade because it's still just once per game, right? Strike and Fade is like a tappable thing on your speeder bikes. But now that's the third instance of like this kind of effect where you get a free attack after you move. There's probably a lot of skill expression there. So this is like a sleeper card, and like I haven't seen it on tables a whole lot yet, but I think high level players are going to find a lot of good uses for this. So,
but yeah, it's just limited. You don't see it in soup because it only works on Kryze units, right?
Right. So
that's why I don't think you're seeing it, because most people aren't playing pure Kryze these days, or right now anyway.
True.
Me and Nick are gonna shift that meta.
We're gonna try.
Hell yeah. Well, let's talk about Axe real quick. He's base 90 points as an operative, 5 health, 2 courage. Again, surging red saves. Again, base 3 on the card. Jump 2, charge, impervious. Mandos are stronger together. Built-in tactical 1. He is coordinate to Kryze units. He has a similar weapon to bow. 2 red, 2 black, melee to 2. This is lethal 1 instead of high velocity. He feels like an operative to me, where he's just going to run around and do his thing at speed 3 and slap some dudes around and hopefully beat out like another trooper squad. But I don't know. Have you guys been using him as an operative, and what do you think?
I think if you asked us this question, like 2 weeks ago, both of us would have been like, he's horrible, don't take him. There's no reason to take him. But now with his proper upgraded gun profile and learning that Mandalorian leader gets war party leader, which gives you direct mercenary trooper, I think this is
good.
He's really
good.
Yeah,
he's useful.
His points are cheap for what he can do. Honestly, I hate doing this because I feel like I'm always going back to Gar. This is what Gar's commander needs to look like.
You talking like a custom clone, or are you talking about like Rex?
Generic, just the regular commander. I feel like if the regular commander looked like this, more people would play him. And that's, I feel like this is in my opinion, now that his weapon is so much better and we know that we can get him orders, I think this is like probably one of the best operatives out there. And I'll go to the grave. This is the hill that I will die on.
So, like, as far as Republic is concerned, he's our Din, and he's a pretty good Din. He's not Din, but he's pretty close.
Yeah, because you can put him in Rebels or Republic. That's true. Yeah.
But, you know, if you had the choice, I'm pretty sure Rebels are just going to take Din. But
yeah.
He is definitely really good for Republic. I think he is amazing for if you're playing Clan Kryze. I think you staple tenacity to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's all you really need to staple to him. Though Seize the Initiative is really, really good on him too. So because
eke out that extra order on an important turn.
Yeah. I think tenacity is good. I think I think the shield can be good on him if you really wanted to, as him to play as like kind of like a skirmisher where he's like jumping around, taking shots. But I think you're missing out on his charge keyword. So I think most of the time you're gonna be charging him into stuff. So you want tenacity, which once again, when people see Axe Woes moving towards you, they're gonna now with his weapon profile, they're gonna shoot him. They're 100% going to shoot him, and you're gonna get tenacity because they're gonna try to kill him before you can get into range to do some damage. So,
and that's a good
I think
point about seize the initiative is that you're going to be charging axe up the board. Maybe it's round 2. You want to dive him in on round 3, and you have you want to play a different command card that didn't involve axe, right? So you play your command card, but then you also pop seize. Axe has an order, and you can get him into melee more safely.
Yep.
But still, do whatever if you're going to play weapons are religion or whatever you're going to play on round 3, you can do that. So.
And usually he has a unit nearby that he's like running in tandem with, so they get to get an order from coordinate. So
yeah,
that's why I like these on him.
But yeah, I mean, you want to play buddy system, right? Because you got stronger together.
Absolutely.
All over the place.
Yeah.
So.
You
I
just
think a
have
lot
to be
of times-
careful because he's faster. He's much faster than like your normal units, so he just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I
rockets
think he's-
forward.
I think he's a good buddy for your veterans. In my opinion,
or a hero like a
or another hero. Yeah,
bow
like you're playing with Bo. I think he's pretty good because then you're getting Bo in order.
Yeah.
So,
well, he doesn't have any
Yep.
command cards, so you're really relying on what it like. It actually feels like a good unit for like a new player to play because you don't have to think that much, right? His speed 3 charge on the card. Get him in there. Just do it.
I like him a lot especially with comms jammer to like just cause chaos for my opponent.
ooh, that's actually a really good one.
Because he just
You did
like
that to
dives in
me.
deep. Yeah. Dives
Yeah,
in deep, and then nobody can like you can't order anything around them unless they're ordering to themselves, and then
Right.
your
Right.
opponent's like, and it like shuts down CIS coordinate chains and stuff. And I found it to be really useful in that regard.
That's cool. Well, this is sweet. I feel like we've got a lot of building blocks here. I'd love to see kind of how they all get mixed in. I will say my jank brain, when you pointed out that he's got a comm slot, I was like, what if you put hacked comms on axe? You have the nerve to give an order to the thing that he's in melee with, and now I get 2 orders out of it.
It is a
feel
good
like-
one.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Or maybe just
I thought
comms
about
jammer.
that too, but I hate droids with a fiery passion, so I just want to shut droids down.
you and I both, brother. You and I both.
As soon as I saw that he had a comm slot, I was like, comms jammer, screw those droids.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Well, so let's talk about some lists. Mine's gonna be pretty quick. I wanted to make a recon list, so if you're getting into Legion and you're playing a lot of the recon format, or you only foolishly bought one of those Mandalorian army boxes, and you want to play an all Mandos list, then this might be a route that you would go. You can build this from basically a single army box plus that Mandos leaders box that has Bo-Katan in it. So again, I have not played this yet, so I'm kind of submitting this to you experts for review. But my 600 point list here is Bo-Katan Kryze. She's got the Darksaber, Vigilance, and the Personal Combat Shield. 2 Mandalorian warriors with impact grenades. And then a big old Mandalorian warrior squad with axe woves is the upgrade. The carbines for the range 3 shot, jetpack rockets, the Mandalorian fire supports with the shucker and the jetpack rockets, and then Clan Kryze vets just with the flame projector. So they're only 125 points. I think in recon, even with only that upgrade, there's still a decent threat. But maybe I need to move some upgrade points over to there. But my thought was that with Axe giving infiltrate to the warriors, I also get them on the fire support, and that infiltrate turn, even if they don't have like aims or whatever from command cards or something, they still get that range 3 carbine shot after the infiltrate on a small map. It's like 3x3, right? And that's why I also gave them the second rockets, and so that round 1 shot can be really good at range 3. You got the fire supports that are infiltrating in rockets and shucker at range 3. So I don't know. You guys have any thoughts on this list that I put together here?
The only thing I think you're missing is a second flamer. Just because if you're playing Mandos, you need 2 flamers.
Sure.
Always.
Yeah.
I feel like with recon, you could probably go ahead and drop that
Impacts, maybe.
no, the Galar carbine and put the
Put the
Like
flamer
flamer on
there.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're gonna be in range 2 most of the time, anyways. So-
Another thing, I could maybe drop either the combat shield or the dark saber, because it's sort of like, do you want to play Bo-Katan melee? Give her dark saber. If you want to play her ranged, give her combat shield, but maybe don't need both.
I think in recon you're gonna need her to tango with their hero, so I think the dark saber is a good call personally.
Yeah.
You could probably get rid of the combat shield, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need it. I like the impact grenade on the warriors, just because in case you run into like a lot of armor or like an armor piece.
Someone has the gall to bring a Wheelo or a
Yeah.
saber or something.
Which I mean wouldn't shock me with pirates. Like,
yeah, you got a good
So-
hedge with the 2 rockets and the 2
Right.
impacts.
yeah.
You definitely make sure it goes down.
I mean it looks like a really fun recon list.
Yeah, I'm surprised you got bow and vets in there, and an axe squad, and you're still at 6. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, again, those Mandalorian warriors, right? Like, I know that they're base 64, but having 2 of them at base 67 with the impact grenades, like, that saves a lot of points.
Yeah.
For what that unit brings, I think they're very effective. And it's another, just having, like, I have 3 warriors in this list, so, on the turn that you play Weapons Are Our Religion, you give all those units, you give all your core charge and orders. It takes all your core out of your order pool, so that your order pool is bow, vets, fire support. So it's a little messy, but the vets and bow also have charge. So 5 of your 6 units all have charge. I feel like you can really dictate the board on that turn. So I don't know. It seems fun.
You
I
also
like it.
you have infiltrate on a warrior and a fire support, which is a big deal.
Yeah. And they're range 3, range 4 threats between the rockets and the carbines. So
So you can get some real good turn 1 poke.
yeah.
Maybe pick up an act early to level the playing field if they're playing like rebels or something.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's have Kevin. You want to go next with your list, or
Sure. I'll do my list and then Nick can tell me how I'm wrong. So
yeah, I'm saving the best for last. This one,
No,
my
not doing
strategy.
that, Kevin. Yeah,
He'll
dude.
put his list. So I'm going with Bo-Katan with tenacity and the dark saber.
Yep.
I'm looking at her as kind of my she's gonna be fighting kind of Jedi's heroes, stuff like that. So I want her to be immune to pierce. I want her to have a nice big melee weapon, especially if I play her 1 pip. The Darksaber then gives her pierce 2. So if I am playing against other Mandos, I know I'm at least getting one of those pierce through.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good. The next I'm going to play is a Mandalorian leader with War Party leader, Vigilance. I'm running the Galar 15 0-point upgrade on it. And then it's Clan Kryze. So
Cool.
You went the discount version.
yeah, I did go with the discount version. He's sitting back telling the army what to do.
Fair.
So he still has a decent range 3 gun, has a decent range 2 gun. So it's not like he's in a bad position. Got
that
a
gun's
decent,
not bad. I mean, 4
Yeah.
search hits, still good. But
Yeah.
So it's not a bad, and you're getting the Inspire 1, you're getting the direct mercenary. He is going to kind of be back with like warriors, stuff like that. So he can either be up front with the warriors, that if you're going to have warriors diving, or he can be back with the fire support and he's still getting his retinue, because it just says Mandalorian warriors, doesn't state which one it is, so it
Right.
works on both of them.
Right.
So I think
Sweet.
he's very versatile, and he's able to kind of make that role nice. The next unit, I'm definitely taking Axe Wolves. I put Tenacity, Seize the Initiative, and Comms Jammer on it ever since
Nice.
Nick did it to me. I realized how good it was.
Yeah, that's rude axe is what that is. You know why it's rude? It's because he's like, no, you don't get orders. Anyway, seize the initiative. I'll get an order and an extra one for coordinate. Guarantee I'm going first. That's great.
So I then went with Mandalorian Warriors, 2 of them, Clan Kryze, and that's it.
Yep.
And then I went with the Mandalorian Initiate that everybody says, why are you taking that? There's no reason for you to take that. And
Good on you, man. You can make them work. Prove me wrong.
Right.
I'm gonna make them work. I'm gonna try. So I don't expect this unit to do much, but you know where this unit comes into play? Remember when we played Close the Pocket and I was able to take that one side?
Yeah.
This is the
Makes it sit
perfect
there.
unit to just sit there.
Yeah.
Because you
that's
don't
fair.
you don't feel bad that it's just sitting there. So I think 1 initiate is not bad. It's still 5 black with long shot. I mean, it's surge to
Yeah.
hit. You
Yeah.
know?
Like I said when we talked about them, I still think they're hands down the best core in the game. I just don't think they're good in Mandos.
No,
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you, but
The only
I
reason
gotta play
that
around
it's
with
a
them little bit.
discussion is because regular warriors are so good. Like, it's not that initiates
Yeah.
are inherently bad.
Yes.
No,
So-
it's just warriors are courage too and have better keywords for sure.
3 amazing
100%.
keywords.
So the next units, I'm taking 2 Clan Kryze veterans with the micro grenade launchers and flame projectors.
Nice.
And then I'm taking 2 Mandalorian warrior fire supports with the Shooker repeater and 2 jetpack rockets.
Yep. That's going to clock you in at exactly 1,000 points.
Yeah.
What do we
It's not
think?
a bad list. 10 acts. I mean,
What 2-3 pips are you taking?
so I'm probably gonna take. I'm probably tonight. I'm probably gonna try honor and strength just because I haven't tried it. So
And you have 2 vets that are so good for splitting fire and getting value out of that.
yeah, I think I'm probably gonna bring honor and strength, and weapons are a religion. But
You're not going to take bows cards?
a part of me is like, do I not take weapons and religion? It just hurts my soul not taking weapons are a religion because it's such the Mando creed that like it feels bad like thematically to have a Mandalorian list that doesn't have this card in it.
Maybe if your opponent agrees, tell him you've got all 3 in your hand and you can go with like 2 of them just to see if like it ever comes up, right? Like
I like that. It's good.
No, but
Casual Thursday rule.
I think this is a decent. It's not a bad list. It's I think the only thing that me and Nick would differ on and bump heads is having Bo in the list as a unit. So
Versus the upgrade, yeah.
Yeah.
So your bow is playing a very similar role as my leader. So I mean, I just lose out on the command cards, right?
Yeah.
And the coolness factor, to be perfectly honest.
I
Bo is
mean, that's
awesome.
true. You're not having Bo Katan. I think she's very versatile with the high velocity and her range 2 gun, with also then the dark saber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
She's more versatile than what I was doing, for sure.
Yeah.
The honor and strength card for the Mandalorian leader, does that have a range limit on when you're upgrading allies' attack pools? Like, do they have to be like right next to you?
Range 2.
Range 2.
You do not need line of sight. He does not need line of sight. He doesn't need line of sight to the enemy. Just has to be in range 2, and that's it.
Okay, that's pretty good then. I was afraid that
Very good.
you'd want to use honor and strength on the vets, but then your Mandalorian leader, the way Kevin you've built him, wants to hang back too much. But I think just moving him up to mid board behind a building and then playing honor and strength, and then you charge your vets forward, probably is good enough. So
Yeah.
And he can keep up because he's speed 3, right? Because the effect stays around the entire round, even if he activates. Like it's not reliant. It's not like Call Me Captain where you have to go as late as possible with them, right? With like
Right.
Rex or whatever.
Yeah. So if you had to, you could always, worst case scenario, still play this card and just, well, I thought he was going to be better over here, but now I'm just going to make 2 speed 2 moves and he's going to be sitting, or
Speed 3 moves.
2 speed 3 moves, and he's going to be sitting next to the 2 vets or something. And so now they'll be able to. And range 2 bubble is still pretty big.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a big bubble on the table. Usually not hard to benefit from it in my experience from playing it. It's a good turn 1 card sometimes too, depending on the scenario, like if you're playing Breakthrough.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and then so one thing to highlight is that this Battleforce starts every round with 6 tokens, right? Because you get 3 from the Battleforce Kryze ability, 2 more dodges from Vigilance, and then you have Retinue on your Mandalorian leader.
Yeah.
You haven't, like, spent
it's anywhere
all
from
your
4 to
tokens or
6, I
whatever.
think, is what it is, right?
Yeah.
No,
well,
5 to
Vigil-
6.
Yeah, because Vigilance can be 2 core or just any random other
Trooper,
Yeah.
yeah.
rank. Yeah.
Cool. Well, Kevin, I think this looks a lot of fun. Nick, I know that your list is kind of similar, so I'm curious to hear what your rollout is. Because we talked a lot about the different plays that this Battleforce does have in terms of like those different command cards and like what can Axe do, what can Bow do, what are you doing with your veterans, and so I think we're seeing a lot of that come together at this list building step now.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I was gonna say, I like 2 weeks ago when we didn't know what like the Mandalorian leaders were or what they had, I think these lists would have been harder to build and to talk about. But with the Mandalorian leaders coming out and us knowing what they do, you're starting to see the capability of a Ren list, a Kryze list. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that those Mandalorian leaders are a key part of you being able to play just a single faction or a single clan or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they plug a lot of holes. They open up some avenues. Like, yeah, I think they're really good.
All right, Nick, what you got?
Let's hear it, Nick.
And they're just as durable as like Katan, right? Because they're still 5 wound surging reds.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I've got a 10-act list. It's got a Mandalorian leader with Deadeye, Vigilance, and the sniper rifle.
You love the sniper rifle.
Oh, I love this guy, and it's not for the reason most people would think. So the very, very important thing about this guy is that he sits in the back, and he's the one with Vigilance in my army, so he's usually trying to stay within range 2 of some warriors to keep some dodges around, right? And then he's got Deadeye and that sniper rifle, which gives him sharpshooter 2 and high velocity on the rifle.
Yeah.
And he also gets target 1, which is pretty important. So because the rifle's a rainbow, right? And even though you surge, that white's going to be a pain sometimes to get the hit. So that target could be a big deal comboed with his retinue. So if you want, you can start with 2, and if you really want, you can start with 3 with the Kryze benefit. And this guy's whole role in my army is to pick off annoying things that I don't want my army to deal with. Those things being like a single unit leader that survived a shot from like my vets or whatever, or like a Empire mortar way in the back that's suppressing the crap out of my stuff that I can just one shot with this guy, with a good roll.
Yeah.
Because of the Pierce. Or he can like, I shoot an E-web and I do 1 wound to it, and then he could probably pick it up, right? Like with a sniper shot.
Yeah.
Um,
I found playing
I
against
do.
him, it was 3 pierce 1 every time. Like, your aims guarantee it, sharpshooter guarantees it. It's just 3 pierce 1. And so,
Yeah,
well,
or he kills.
what's the value of 3
kills
pierce 1 every round? It's pretty good.
Yeah. Or he kills like an annoying speeder, like your fluttercraft.
Yeah, dude, that sucked because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to do this fluttercraft thing, and I was like, well, he didn't really give me any good targets, so I'll just deploy on the board, and I think I actually like moved up, shot, and then like swooped back, so I was like, my fluttercraft base was like within 2 inches of my own board edge, right?
Yep.
And this Mandalorian leader's like, all right, well, I'll deploy after that. Boom, 3 pierce 1 on the fluttercraft. Okay, fluttercraft takes 3. Next round, activates before the fluttercraft. 3 pierce 1. Fluttercraft is dead. It didn't do anything. But like that's pretty powerful. Like I'm just gonna like 2-shot a support unit that's literally on your board edge. And just take out an activation by myself, and that's just the first 2 rounds of the game. Like there's
and that's the other thing
subtle
that he's
how
really good
effective
at.
that is.
He's really good at taking out like the Galactic War, Civil War snipers, like your Commando strike teams or your Scout strike teams.
Yeah.
If they blow their incognito on some warrior unit that I dangled out for them to shoot, they're dead. They're just dead.
Because they don't get low profile. Because you have sharpshooter
They don't
too.
get cover, low profile, or dodges. They're just dead.
Yep. That's awesome.
It is a
unless
really
they did
good
the smart
unit.
thing. Unless they did the smart thing and they like move behind cover after they shot, which most people tend not to do, I found. But
yeah.
And it's a little harder into the Clone Wars era snipers because they have impervious and red saves and whatnot. But sometimes you get lucky.
Yep.
But that's that whole guy's role is to sit on my back point and kill all the things I don't want to chase down with my army.
Yeah.
And he's really good at it, I find.
Yeah.
Especially when you play honor and strength, because now he's throwing 2 reds and a black.
Yeah.
So he's really consistent.
Yeah.
Oh, and sometimes you can play like we talked about, we are Mandalorians on him. Now he's throwing 6 black, a red, and a white pierce 1 down.
Gross. High velocity.
Sharpshooter too, yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. And then the second leader I've got in my army is a leader with War Party leader, a Vibro Sword, and lead by example.
So with War Party, you get Inspire 1 and lead by example gives Inspire 2 for a total of 3. That seems pretty effective.
Yeah, so as you know, I was talking about earlier how the suppression game's been amped up. I think you need some Inspire tech in your lists if you're going to play Mandos because you're so expensive. Losing any X feels terrible.
Yeah.
And you can't rely on white dice to rally you. So I found this guy having Inspire 3 being pretty potent. Usually because I have order control on him, so I can order or activate him when I need to like free up a unit.
Yeah.
Or hopefully free up a unit. I also changed him from our game. He used to have the EE3 rifle, which I was trying to lean into the suppression game, but I was finding I just didn't have enough of it. So I decided what's better? Like, let's just stick in another charge guy. And he's got duelist, and I can make sure he's got an aim or a dodge depending on what I need at the top of the round. Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Comboed with retinue and the Kryze bonus, I can make sure I have the tokens I need. Right?
Right. I was just going to ask if you're getting the aims you want, and you have retinue, so that basically ensures that you at least have the one aim.
Yep. And then I can use the Kryze bonus if I need to have a dodge to be like immune melee pierce, which is what I was referencing when you were talking about your list about the role Bo is playing, right?
Yes.
I think this guy plays a similar role in my army because he can like tango with the Jedi for a while.
Right.
Maybe even win.
You're not wrong.
Cut
like
through stuff
seeing
with Pierce
this
2.
build,
Yeah.
like seeing this build makes me think about, is Bo better in the bet squad?
Yeah.
Now I'm getting 3 charge units. So
yeah. And then in the mirror, he's got Pierce 2, so like he can definitely put the hurt on some warriors or whatever.
Yeah.
For bets, hopefully,
Yeah.
get over that impervious.
Yeah. And then he's also playing the direct coordinate chain with Axe.
Yeah, how's your axe outfitted?
So Axe has got tenacity, sees the initiative, and comms jammer.
Amazing.
I also gave him a flame projector because I didn't really have a better unit. I might move this to a warrior unit, but we'll see.
Sure.
And then he's got environmental gear because, at least in our meta, we tend to play with difficult terrain.
Yeah.
And sometimes 2 speed 3, even with a jump, doesn't get you where you need to be, surprisingly. Like in our game, Graham.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, I got 2 points left over, so I slapped environmental gear on him just to make sure he can always get where he wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also got a flame projector right now, just in case there's like a beef squad I want to dive and just throw a lot of dice at. Then I've got 4 Mandalorian warriors, all with Into the Fray, the Galar Carbines, and Impact Grenades.
Amazing.
In my experience, I found with warriors, I need the carbines. I need that range 3. I'm too used to it with Republic that I just couldn't leave home without it, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it makes
I like
them
the flexibility it provides.
very flexible. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the important thing is on the honor and strength turn, they can split fire because now they have 2 guns.
Oh, that's true. So you can,
Yeah.
throw your blaster rifles at something close range. If you throw 2 blaster rifles, now you're rolling 2 red. And then you got the carbines that will convert up to reds.
2
And
red
then-
and black get something else.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, and then
That's
more
clever.
suppression. Yeah. I think the Into the Fray triggers, if I can remember them, would be pretty key with the Kryze bonus, being able to keep a couple of them across, around when you've got like a unit exposed, making sure they have a surge available or 2 to not just fall over dead.
Yeah. Well, and not only is it feel good to like, oh yeah, I got a search token for a save, but like it really leans into the tempo of what these elite armies want to do. We talk about this with clones a lot, but with clones, you need to kind of play defensively early on, because if you lose too many points too early in the game, it kind of spirals and you lose all your firepower and then you kind of fall behind. And Mandalorians are going to be the same way, because again, you only have the 10 activations. You have a few more bodies on the battlefield, I think, than their clone counterparts. But like, if you throw out your Mandalorian warriors really early and you just pick them up because they're just red saves, then you're going to be at 8 activations and hurting. So, making sure that you get those attacks in first and weather the counterfire to like then really lock it in by the end of round 2, beginning of round 3, then you're going to be positioned to win. And if you can get those warriors into melee at the back half of round 2, then they're Into the Frays are going to start proccing round 3, and you're going to make sure that you're not losing too much too fast.
Yeah, hopefully that's the hope. And then the
That's
impact
on
grenades
paper.
are there for the armor hedge. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all know dice could be dice, but and then the impact grenades are there for the armor hedge with pirates running around and whatnot. So
Yeah,
and
for sure.
do 12th and what have you. So just
Yeah.
need some sort of armor hedge, otherwise you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, and then I've got 1 vet unit. I've got the micro grenade launcher. I've got Katan specifically.
Yeah.
And then I've got the flame projector on him.
Yeah.
This unit is specifically, I play KG with them. They're my hammer. I make sure I don't expose them until I know I have a good target. As much as I want to take that like range 3 poke, I've been burned by it way, way, way too many times that
Yeah.
I just stopped.
Yeah.
And I just hide them. And I just play position with them until it's the right time to pop out with them.
I forget where else I heard it recently, but it's sort of like the threat range of a unit that hasn't activated is larger than one that has, because you can move all the way to the left or all the way forward or all the way right. And playing KG with your vets with speed 3, range 3 guns, or a speed 3, range 2 monstrous attack pool, like is really large. It's a really big play area, and just keeping them until like the end of round 2 behind a building is a really big threat that your opponent has to play around. And then if you still don't move them out, you just kind of shift them forward and maybe move up into another line of sight blocker. Now round 3, oh my god, those vets can go anywhere.
Yeah, and the vets are fast enough that they can leapfrog to new line of sight blockers pretty easily, unlike speed 2 troops usually. Sometimes I like to last first with them, so they pop out, they do a big shot with the grenade launcher, and then you go first with them and they charge something. And then, hopefully they wipe it out or kill it to a man or whatever. And then their grenade launcher's online for the turn following,
Yeah. And then I assume that you have the 2 fire supports with the shuckers and jetpacks.
Yeah, these guys are generally just my backline troops, armor hedge.
Well, Kevin, what's your thoughts having actually played some Kryze? What do you think about Nick's list?
I've played against Nick's list, except for I think the only change is the vibro sword, and it's absolutely terrifying that he was able to get the vibro sword on there. This list is, if I'm gonna play a Clan Kryze list right at the moment, it's either gonna be my list or Nick's list. Like honestly,
yeah.
I really do like his list. I just like Bo, and that's the only reason. Like I feel, and I prefer 2 vets. I kind of, unfortunately, am always under the you want 2 of the same token in your bag.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Where
that's the other thing I forgot to call out in this list is, and you have it too to a pretty good extent, is you have really good order control with Axe here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can always make, like, at least in my list, I can always make sure my bets have an order.
No, I really like your list. I am definitely gonna try it out. I don't
appreciate that.
I'm not sure what I would change, because there's not really, you're sitting at 1,000 10x. I mean, everything is pretty spot on. I think the only thing that I would have changed, and that's just me, is I would have dropped the environmental gear and lead by example and put another vigilance. But that's just me. And
Sure.
I think either way is still a pretty good list.
And you're a more aggressive player than I am in general.
Yeah, because I'm nuts. So
I don't think you're nuts. I just think you like to push the envelope a lot more.
I do.
It's not a bad thing. It works.
I mean, I don't know how many times people have like gone by one of my games at a tournament and you're like, you got Anakin sitting up on top of that.
Yeah.
Out
What
in
the
the
hell
open.
happened here?
You got Yoda sitting up on top of that out in the open. I'm like, yeah, this turns the block. Like,
be fine.
It'll be fine.
The only other comment that I have on Nick's list is the Mandalorian warriors are kind of built to be flexible, and you can make them more points efficient if you wanted to give them more specific roles, right? Like either into the fray or the carbines, because you know, are you going to be next to somebody or are you going to be at range 3? But the flexibility of this unit for really not that many more points is pretty interesting. And if I got tired of anything with droids, it's that I felt like everything has to have a specific role, and the entire time you're playing droids, you're like conducting an orchestra where your violins cannot play the same music that your trombones do, right? Like they have to play their part. And with this is a little bit more of a catch-all unit that can say like, oh well, right now I need to charge in and hold up that unit. Well, they're good in melee. That's great. But really now I need to pivot over and like help contest this point. And so I'm going to use my carbines. And, you know, I think that's really awesome that you have 4 units that are all universally flexible in that way for under 80 points a pop. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I really like the Warriors, man. They can do it all. Like, and you can even, if you want, you can
It's actually a good unit.
you can buy heavies on them and give them completely different roles, right? Like,
Right.
you could drop the carbines, put micro grenade launchers on them, and not in this particular list, but like now they're like a vanguard unit. They're pushing forward. They're blowing up an enemy once they get in the range too, and then they're pushing into melee. You know, like
Right.
That's
they're
why
very cool.
I don't think Children of the Watch and custom Mando units are really out that much by not having a veteran unit. I mean, I still think that there should be an upgrade to allow you
Yeah.
to like change two units into veteran units in a sense, but they really are. They're so versatile. You could put an upgrade on them. You can like just alone you can put the armor in it, especially with the Mandalorian leaders. You don't need them being out there and being leaders. You can put armor on them, Paz Vizsla in them, and stuff like that. And there's
yeah.
you can either make them into a melee unit or you can make them into a shooty unit.
Warriors with either armor or din are so good. They're so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of this this army.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Absolutely.
so much you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think there's so much untapped potential in Mandos still that needs to be explored, and like there's just so many different iterations and combinations that you can do to great effect, and we haven't seen them all yet. I don't think. Because I mean,
Yeah.
even like the list Grant played at our local, it was a Children of the Watch Ren bow soup that like just dominated our tournament, and I didn't see it coming. It
Right.
was really good.
It was so good.
He took like the best parts of Ren and Children of the Watch, and then just gave them all. Mandalorians are stronger together. It was awesome.
Yeah. 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 That's awesome.
Nick, I appreciate you coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It was a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, guys.
No, a lot of really good insight and experience, and there's so much meat on the bone here with this Mandalorian release that it will be years before we've really cracked all the nuts, I think.
Yeah, especially once they add the Fang Fighter.
Oh my god.
Ooh, buddy.
It's gonna be so good.
Oh my god. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's discussion. If you enjoyed it, please share it on your local Discord servers. Give us a great review on Spotify or iTunes. Give this video a like and a subscribe on YouTube. This has been the 630 Skirmishers podcast, and until next time, roll good and play better.